Here we go. Let's go. It is freaking time. The connection is stable. I'm looking at OBS right now. It's all green. We're in a different room. We're in a different house. We're in a different state. Long story, and we'll get to that in a sec. But here we go. It is finally time for the Doc Mock. Oh, I'm excited for this one. We've got a great stream here tonight, folks. I am fired up for this one. Tonight, we are going to be filling out Dr. Pigskin's official 2025 mock draft, the Doc Mock. You know, I kind of did this last year a little bit. I did a mock draft of sorts. I didn't really stand on business. I didn't call it my mock draft. We're standing on business today. I've been grinding the tape. I've been looking through a lot of these prospects here. I've been thinking about this a lot. Podcasts have been listened to. I am fired up, man. I don't know. There's just a little extra pep in my step today. I was excited for this one. Big ups indeed, as we've got Caden and Jack in here already, and Pear Champ. Let's go. People filing in. You know the drill, folks. If you're in here, feel free to say hello and chat. I'm a little extra amped up. I think we're going to have a good night here tonight. Let's go. I'm doing great. How about you guys? Let's go. I need some water. I need to save it for the mock draft, maybe. But I don't know. So I'll take a swig of water, and then I'll explain the situation going on behind me, because this is uncharted territory here for Dr. Pigskin. So, if you guys have been following along the past week or so, there's been some technical difficulties popping up. Internet connection has been a whole thing, right? Laggy streams. Even last week on Wednesday, it ended up crashing twice, right? It's been a whole thing. Been a bit of a bummer, right? And I referenced earlier, OBS is in the green now. Whole past week, it's been in the red. Speed tests and everything. Still don't fully know what the deal is. Long story short, our internet at home in good old Fargo is kind of cooked right now. We've had the internet company come out twice now to take a look, because we are just not getting the service that we originally purchased. And it just happened in the past week. We had someone come out a few days ago, and I ran a test stream, and it was still like lagging and crashing and everything. So my parents, shout out my parents, and their infinite wisdom said, well, how about you go stream out at the lake? For those that might not know, and I guess unless you know me personally, there's no reason you would know. My family has a lake place just about an hour east of Fargo, out in Minnesota, right? Unironically, the internet here is better than the internet that we have at home. So I'm here in our lake house. You might see I've got a Vikings blanket covering the window. Where I set up is exactly where the sun is going down right now. Anyways, I don't know. So I had to block out the window a little bit. So it was very, very backlit. But long story short, this is the first ever Dr. Pigskin stream in the state of Minnesota. First ever Dr. Pigskin stream in this house right here. And yeah, so I don't know. I'm fired up. The internet's working. It's mock draft time. I'm in a good mood. Let's go. Caden asking, so is this what I would do or what I think will happen? I'm going to be lame and say it's a little bit of both. I'm going to lean more towards what I would do, but there's going to be some realism to it. And I mean, spoiler alert, you'll see it on the first pick. It's maybe not necessarily what I would do if I was GM, but I understand why the Titans are going to do what they're going to do. I'm not going to sit here and be like, this is the worst pick ever. Or like, well, I just wouldn't do that, so I'm not going to do it. I'm going to have like some semblance of realism so that like there might be some accuracy. My goal is not necessarily to get every single pick correct, right? I'm not treating this like a March Madness bracket. As I kind of said last year, my goal is to make picks that make me happy with a semblance of realism. I'm not going to be like, well, if I was the Titans, I would simply trade down and get 3 firsts, even though, I don't know. Well, we'll get to the Titans when we get to the Titans. But shoot, man, it's 7:04. We might just get started here. We might just jump on in. There's not like a whole lot of news to hit anything. I don't know. I mean, what's the big stuff that's even happened? It's kind of that dead period between the draft and free agency, I don't know. Yeah, it's the off-season dead period right now before the draft. I'm going to pull up ESPN real quick just to make sure, but I don't really think there's any news to talk about necessarily. Yeah, it's all just draft speculation. But yeah, we'll just get started then. We have some extra time. We might play a little Wii baseball because I was so heartbroken that Wii Golf stream was laggy, and I wanted to play a little Wii Baseball. I may or may not have brought the Nintendo Wii out with me to the lake, and I may or may not need to beat Sakura, the baseball champion. But we'll get there when we get there. It is mock draft time, so let's switch over to our computer screen here. Here we go. We got the PFF mock simulator pulled up, right? Again, dash of realism, right? We're going to try and be somewhat realistic, but I'm going to try and make picks that make me happy. I've got each team's best intentions in mind here, right? I am going to try and make every fan base happy, right? If you're, say, I don't know, a Commanders fan, you know what? I hope you're happy with the guy that I give you. And honestly, only some of this is like scripted and I have in my mind already. A lot of the stuff is going to be off the cuff, off the dome. I would say I've got a good feel for like the first half of the draft or so. Back half of the draft, things might start to get a little funky and we might improv a little bit. We're going to do one round, no trades, right? I'm sure there will be trades, but I'm not going to get into the weeds with that. I might point out spots where like, oh, teams might want to trade back or whatever, but we're not going to get into that too much. We're going to get started here with the Titans in a sec. The Titans are on the clock. Jack's saying Doc has actually taken dart number one. Maybe number one in the third round. I don't know, man. Well, you know, I might talk about some of these other prospects too that I don't necessarily pick in the first round here, but there's one first round quarterback in this class. That's what I'll say. But we got Garrett in here too. Let's go. Welcome to the stream, Garrett. Good to have you in here saying it's the Doc Mock. It is the Doc Mock. Thanks for joining us, man. Should be a good one. All right. So on the clock at number one, Tennessee Titans. It's going to be Cam Ward, right? I mean, come on. Like if you guys are tuned in online a little bit, I think Caden, you might have even sent something in the Instagram chat about this, right? Cam Ward was playing Fortnite yesterday, and someone asked him like top 4 running backs, and he's like, oh, you know, Tyjae Spears and Tony Pollard. And someone asked him top 4 receivers, he's like, oh, you got to have Calvin Ridley and Treylon Burks in there. It's like, oh, I'm so sure. I'm so sure. Yeah, I think it's pretty set in stone at this point that Cam Ward is going to be the pick, right? I'm all right about it. I do think he's a pretty good prospect. I don't think he's on the level of a lot of the guys from last year necessarily. There is a lot to like. He does have a pretty live arm. He can hit the different arm slots right. He's a decent mover. He's really good at improvisation. You know, super productive final season at Miami. There is a lot to like with Cam Ward. A comp that I don't mind for him, honestly, is he's a little Jordan Love-esque, right? There is plenty to like about him. And if you're the Titans, you know, last season was your whole, oh, we're not taking a quarterback season, right? Like they had a pretty high pick last year. They could have got J.J. McCarthy. They could have got Michael Penix or Bo Nix if they wanted to. But last season, if you're the Titans, was like, oh, wait, okay, no, it is shown. Okay. Last season was like, okay, we'll see what we have with Levis. You know, they took J.C. Latham with their first round pick, right? They spent a little bit in free agency, both last season and this season. So if you're this Titans regime, especially a new GM coming, it's like, okay, like you got to get a quarterback, right? That's just the reality of job security in the NFL. If you're Brian Callahan, the coach, like, okay, now's the year where you got to do something. You have the first overall pick. And again, like, okay, they brought in Dan Moore on the line. He's fine. They paid a lot, but like, what else are you going to do, right? The line might be decent. Kevin Zeitler is a decent signing too. Just a 1-year deal. He's a little bit older, but just raises the floor a little bit, right? I will say, if I'm going to be objective and honest, like, I don't love the receivers. The line's still like, the floor might be a little bit higher, but the ceiling seems very capped with some of these older guys that they've got. And the defense isn't great. Honestly, if I were the Titans, and I don't know how realistic this is, if I were the Titans, I would at least call the Steelers and be like, hey, I know it's a big jump from 21-1, but hear me out, right? We know the spot you guys are in right now. We know Aaron Rodgers hasn't made a decision yet. We know that you guys have pretty much been doomed forever to never get another top-end quarterback prospect, right? We know all this. You like Cam Ward? All right, take him. It'll cost you, but you can have him. Like, I know that's crazy, and that's like Madden fantasy football thing or whatever. If I was the Titans, I would at least try it. But I'm sure the Steelers, I don't know. They wouldn't want to pay whatever price the Titans would ask. So, all things considered, I think it's an all right pick. It makes a lot of sense. I'm not like, oh, here come the Titans next year. Like, look out, But as far as QB prospects go, you could certainly do a lot worse. He's by far the best quarterback in this class. And I don't know. If you're the Titans, you're telling yourselves, like, we're not going to have the first overall pick again, right? So I get it. It's not like I would give this pick, like, maybe a B minus, but okay, whatever, right? We've seen more egregious picks before. This isn't like the Giants taking Daniel Jones 6th overall or something like that. But Cam Ward, Titans 1, feels pretty set in stone. It's whatever. It's whatever. Not Jackson Dart, though. Sorry, Jack. All right. Browns at 2. This is where things start to get a little bit interesting, right? You feel like if you're the Browns, you're probably set between Travis Hunter or Abdul Carter here. Maybe even Ashton Jeanty if you really want to try and go BPA. And if you're the Browns, you think like, oh, we think Jeanty is the best player. I am going to go Travis Hunter here, though. I honestly think he's the best player in the entire draft. Again, I had my whole speech a few weeks ago. Like, there's just so many ways that this can go right. I think he's he is the best corner prospect, and he is the best wide receiver prospect in this class. He's just an unbelievable player. His ball skills, his explosiveness. I mean, you might have to say, okay, like at some point he's going to have to choose one side of the ball to specialize in, right? And I get that. I don't know. His rookie year, I would try it. I would let him try it and see what happens at least. I do like his ceiling at corner maybe just a little bit more. A comp I really like for him is like Patrick Peterson. Like that's honestly how high of a ceiling I think he has at corner with how good his ball skills are. He's got decent length. He's not heavy, but he's got decent size. And he's just so explosive. He can close on the ball so well, man. He can be good in man or zone. And if you're the Browns, you might not even want to put him there, right? Like you might want him as a wide receiver. And I had a really good discussion with Wolf, who's a big Browns fan, in our Discord about a week ago, right? And he was a little iffy on Hunter, and I get it. Like if you want to go Abdul Carter here and pair him up with Myles Garrett, that makes sense. But to me, I mean, if you're the Browns, really, you could use a top-end wide receiver. I know Judy was pretty good last year, and Cedric Tillman has shown flashes, but Hunter's just a different animal. Again, like high-end comp, like prime Odell. Like seriously, like his ball skills and his ability to just turn up field after the catch. He's maybe not the most refined route runner in the world, but he was playing both ways. If he just specialized in wide receiver, I'm sure he could get a little bit better at like throttling down on comeback routes and stuff like that, right? I mean, his tape is ridiculous, dude. Like he's just so much fun to watch, man. And I really, really want him to succeed. Just a special player. I think he's the best player in the entire draft. Browns getting him at 2. I think that's a home run right there. Try him out at whatever you like. Let him try both. I don't know. But either way, like, even if he's a corner, like, okay, if you're the Browns, you have Denzel Ward. That's nice. Dude, could you imagine Denzel Ward and Travis Hunter as your corner duo with Myles Garrett coming off the edge? Like, oh no, we only get a good corner. I don't know, man. I honestly, if I was the Titans, I'd even thinking about taking him at 1. I think at 2. That's just a home run pick for the Browns, and they need a new face of the franchise to move on from the disaster that was their previous quarterback. So, I don't know. Travis Hunter at 2. I like it. Pearchamp saying just went through a mock draft and got the Packers getting Jahdae Barron and the Vikings getting Tyler Booker. Okay, a little interior offensive line help for the Vikings. I certainly can't complain about that. Tyler Booker, we'll probably get to him a little bit later, but he's one of those big, tough, downhill type of guys. I think like late first round is probably a fair spot for him. Jahdae Barron to the Packers. That would be a nice pick for them too, getting a little bit of secondary help. Kaden saying Packers need Knoll. Jalen Knoll. Yeah, he's nice. You put me on, man. I watched him the other day. I like the way he moves. I like the way he plays. Borderline first-round talent, in my opinion. It's a sneaky good wide receiver class. It doesn't quite have the top-end guys of last year, but, man, it's a really deep class. There's a lot of guys to like in day 2. Yeah, Jalen Knoll, man. I was shouting out Jaden Higgins the other day. I like Knoll more. Higgins is no longer my favorite Iowa State receiver. Knoll is nice, dude. I really like him. He's very Tyler Lockett-y to me, and I like that a lot. Jack saying, breaking news, No, this is a prank. This is a prank. No. I'm getting punked right here. There's no way. Jalen Ramsey did not just get traded to the Vikings for a 2026 third. You at least got me enough that I'm going to pull up Twitter right now just to make sure. But there's no way. I would love it. I would take it. I know I'm normally against like the Vikings going and getting unk corners. I think I complained about that a few weeks ago. Like, dude, we always get these old corners. But Ramsey's not washed. He's maybe not at the top of his game anymore, but he's still a really good player. And he would really fit this Flores defense. Yeah, he's trolling. He is trolling. Welcome to the stream, by the way, Eric. He at least got me enough where I pulled up Twitter. So fair play to you. I was actually thinking about that yesterday. I was like, dude, honestly, like, I would do it if I was the Vikings. I totally would do it. But we'll get to the Vikings corner situation here in a little bit. Fair play, though. I respect that. I respect the effort. Not quite as good as the Bo Nix effort from last year. But hey, you've got a little bit more time to practice before the draft. All right. Pick 3. Giants on the clock. Abdul Carter. Prospect I really, really, really like. I wouldn't quite put him on the same tier as like a Myles Garrett or a Nick Bosa or even a Chase Young as far as prospects go, right? But I think he's a really, 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 really good player. First season as a full-time edge rusher for him last year, right? He was kind of that tweener, little Micah Parsons-y before that, kind of going between edge and off-ball linebacker, but just a freak athlete, just unbelievable explosiveness, unbelievable bend, unbelievable package of finesse moves, right? He is a phenomenal speed rusher. He can come in day one in the NFL and be an A1 guy that just pins his ears back, gets after the quarterback. Now, I think it's fair to bring this up, and I'm not going to knock him for it too much, because all those things I said are good enough to warrant the 3rd overall pick. I will say, when you pour through his tape just a little bit, when you just watch him a little bit, it is very apparent he's really only comfortable winning in one way right now. And that little, I think he calls it like his ghost move, right? Like there's this little like feint that he does. It's just really sick. It's a really nice move and it works, and it's going to work in the NFL, right? He goes to that thing over and over and over again. And that's really all he's comfortable with right now. He really doesn't show a lot of winning with power necessarily. He's got good size, so you like to think that maybe he has it in him. And again, I'm willing to give him a little bit of a mulligan because it's his first season as a full-time edge player, so I get it. But it is fair to point out he's not dominant in the run game. He's not like a Trayvon Walker type who's going to like set the edge and then shed the block and like fill the gap perfectly in the run game. Like he is very much just like an explosive race car type of pass rusher. And he's so good at that. I think it's fair. Like, okay, 3rd overall pick. I get it. You put him on a defensive line where you've already got big Dexter Lawrence, who just takes up so much space by himself. You've got Brian Burns opposite of him, right? That Giants defensive line, that Giants pass rush with Abdul Carter could instantly be like one of the 5 best pass rushes in the NFL. And they should know, like they see in their own division, their big rivals, the Eagles, that is their superpower. That is a really, really good superpower to have, right? That was maybe one of the biggest takeaways from the Super Bowl. It's just tried and true. Pass rush will win you a lot of games, man. You get after the quarterback, that'll win you a lot of games. You can bump Kayvon Thibodeau down to more of a rotational piece, which maybe is a little bit of a disappointment for a guy that you took 5th overall a few years ago. But honestly, it's probably the best role for him. And you could just kind of figure out like, okay, are we going to give this guy a second contract or not? But resist the urge to take a quarterback, whatever. You've got your vet QBs in, I know the regime is going for their jobs right now, trying to like save their own lives or whatever, but this is a good, responsible pick. And I was talking about the Giants defense a few weeks ago, right? I can't remember who asked me. Someone asked me about the Giants defense though, right? And I was like, honestly, like there's a lot to like here, right? Again, Dexter Lawrence, defensive player of the year caliber type of guy. Brian Burns, really good player. Even like Bobby Okereke is pretty solid. I like the Paulson Adebo signing. Javon Holland was a nice signing. Tyler Nubin was nice as a rookie. Like, dude, Drew Phillips in the slot. Like, they've got some guys on defense. You add Abdul Carter to this defense, especially in a 3-4, he can really play on the outside, right? He just has less responsibility in the run game, right? He can really just pin his ears back and get after the quarterback. This would be a pretty nice defense, honestly. So, yeah, this is just kind of a BPA type of situation if you're the Giants, and it fills a need, and it's a very important position. Yeah, good pick. Abdul Carter. I like it. And I think so far this is pretty realistic. It wouldn't shock me if this is how the board fell at all. I would say, like, honestly, my first 5 picks are probably going to be pretty chalky, right? Patriots will go Will Campbell. Again, big need, important position, best player at this position in the class, just good prospect overall, right? Patriots, yeah, they could use a receiver. I've seen, McMillan mocked here a little bit, and I get it. I do love me a lot, McMillan. But I think their offensive line is maybe even more dire than their wide receivers, right? And at least they brought in Diggs, again, just a floor raiser for a year or two. Certainly not a long-term solution there. No disrespect, dude. I'm sorry. You can't be having Vidarian Lowe trotting out there as your starting left tackle, right? I mean, okay, they brought in Garrett Bradbury. That's nice. Like, they've got a few playable guys, but come on. Like, this left side, you got to do something about this. And I know there's some chatter. Okay, maybe Will Campbell, he's got a little bit shorter arms. Maybe he should kick inside to guard. I am team, let him try at tackle. Let him try at tackle, right? He was a phenomenal tackle at LSU, playing in the SEC against really good competition for a couple of years. All-American type of player, right? Fantastic tape. And again, another one of those guys, you turn it on, man. It shows how much faith this LSU coaching staff had in Will Campbell. All these assignments that they gave him, more than anyone else in this class, they're just leaving him out on an island. He was not getting a whole lot of help, right? It's just, okay, Will, we are going to trust you here. We're going to leave you one-on-one because we trust that you're going to win, right? And he's a very good athlete. His arms are short, but it's not like short to the point where he's unplayable at tackle. And if you're athletic enough, you can mitigate that a little bit. I think he's a good enough athlete. He's a smart enough player. He's been so dominant at tackle in college. You got to let him try, right? You got to let him try. If he fails again, oh no, we have a good guard, right? I think he would be pretty good at guard, but I think you should let him try at tackle. Even if he's like a B+ tackle, like for the 4th overall pick, you could do a heck of a lot worse. And just watching the Patriots last year, pretty much every time I turned him on, Drake May's out here running for his life, trying to make magic happen. Yeah, you'd like to address the receivers too, but it's a deep receiver class. You can do that day 2. I know they tried that last year, whatever. Don't be scared to try it again. Shoot, you could get Jalen Noel in round 2 if you're the Patriots, maybe. Go get Will Campbell. I think he's easily one of the 5 best prospects in this class. And again, just fills a big need for him. Makes too much sense. Yo, we got game solved in here. Tuning in at the perfect time. Yes, you are. Let's go. Because your Jacksonville Jaguars are on the clock. Bang. Let's go. Impeccable timing. Jackson, you should have been seeing how excited Doc got when I told him the Vikings traded for Jalen Ramsey. Don't worry, we're not going to trick you this draft. Oh, we'll see. I'm going to be on high alert. I'm going to be very skeptical of anything that goes in this chat now. Even if, like, I don't know, if it's like, oh, the Titans are taking Cam Ward at 1, I'm going to be like, I don't know. Maybe I'm getting pranked. Right? You got to have a healthy dose of skepticism these days. But yeah, if y'all would have tag teamed on that again, you would have. It got me a little bit. Again, he got me to the point where I pulled up my phone and I checked because there's just a small part of me that's like, well, what if it's true? Then we just get a banger of a reaction of my favorite team making a good trade. But all right. Jaguars, pick 5. How are we going to get back to the good place? There's a few different routes we could go here. I've seen McMillan mocked to the Jags a decent amount too. I get it, especially they lose Christian Kirk. I don't know. Mason Graham is the basic pick, but that is what I'm going to go with here for the Jags, right? I think one thing that's very telling that makes this pick make a lot of sense, right, is their new GM, James Gladstone, came over from the Rams. He gave a soundbite a few weeks ago that I really liked. He talked about how important it is to win up the middle, the A gaps, right? He talked about how important it is to win in that area of the field for any football game, right? And that's good interior offensive line, good interior defensive line. He should know, right? I mean, he was a part of the Rams. We've seen how many good interior defenders they've trotted out throughout the years, right? Mason Graham is a pretty safe pick. Had a good conversation with David a few days ago on the previous stream. Maybe not like a workout warrior or anything. Didn't light up the combine. There are a few concerns about arm length and stuff, right? But overall, even though he's not like super toolsy, he is pretty agile. You've got that wrestling background, right? Again, being able to get leverage. He's got a nice package of swim moves. He's a really good pass rusher. And there's maybe some concerns about him winning with power or playing against the run, but I don't know. I watched his tape against Minnesota, and he had a really nice sack where he just bull rushed. I think it was the right guard, just completely manhandled him, blew him back into the quarterback, and then threw him aside and got the sack. It's like, there we go. There we go. He's winning with power too, right? It's not consistent. It's not perfect. But overall, he's a pretty safe player. I think he has a fairly high floor. And he could turn this into a pretty good defensive line. I'm not gonna talk myself into the Jags too much here, right? I can't do that again. But Mason Graham, Trayvon Walker, Josh Hines-Allen, and Eric Armstead. Eric Armstead's maybe a little past his prime, so, makes sense too. Graham will be next guy up when Armstead moves on. But Trayvon Walker had a really good year. Josh Hines-Allen is at least like a good starter. Maybe not like the 17-sack type of player that he was a few years ago. But again, just winning up the middle, dominating the A-gap. Pick that makes a lot of sense. This honestly might be one of the most mocked picks in the entire draft, but it makes sense for a good reason. He's a good player. He's not Aaron Donald by any means, but he's a good player. Sometimes you just need to take a good player at 5. But Jack with the M emoji right there. Oh yeah, shout out Michigan, right? Go Blue. Game Solve saying, as long as I don't pick Genty or Warren, I'm content. Well, there you go. There you go. Mason Graham to the Jags. No Genty or Warren. We'll get to those guys in a second. We'll see where Tyler Warren ends up going. He's one guy I actually have no idea where I'm going to put him at yet. I've toyed with a few different teams. Like, I have no idea what to do with this guy. But yeah, we got Christine in here too. Let's go. Welcome to the stream, Christine. Good to have you in here. Saying Falcons need better defense. Bang. Yeah, you got it. You are right. As you said today, and I quote, I know, Ball, you do. The Falcons do need defense. You guys are down at 15. Well, spoiler alert. The Falcons are indeed going to be going defense. I've got a name in mind for them. That's actually one of my favorite picks coming up, the Falcons pick. So stay tuned for that. And we got Dark Elixir in here. Please no QB at 9 for the Saints. We'll see. Spoiler alert. Lucky day. Lucky day. It's your lucky day. And we got Sebastian in here too. Let's go. People filing in. Welcome to the stream, Sebastian. Saying, why don't NFL GMs just simply pick good players? It's a mystery to me, man. Mystery to me, right? Dude, I would be so good. I know what I'm doing. Jack has Warren going to the Jets. I've seen that a little bit. I don't know. 7 is a little high for me for Tyler Warren. You asked me about, well, we get to the Tyler Warren conversation a little bit. We kind of had that on Sunday. I could see it. I mean, realistically, I could see that being something that happens, though. All right. Here we go. Raiders, one of my pet teams for this year. I'm all in on the Raiders this year. I love the vibes. I talked about the nice hiring of Pete Carroll. Love the coaching staff they've built, right? Hey, we got to push that Geno Smith agenda a little bit, right? It's been a big fulcrum for this community, right? I've loved the Geno Smith conversations. Now here he is with a real offensive line. Let's let him throw the football a little bit. Interesting spot here if you're the Raiders. You no longer need a quarterback. Really opens things up. You could go Ashton Genty. I would totally understand it. I could totally see it happening, right? Pete Carroll likes to run the football. Chip Kelly likes to run the football. They do not have a very good running back room right now. I wouldn't think twice if they went Ashton Genty here. I would totally understand it. I think it's honestly a 50-50 shot that they do. But that's not what I'm going to do here. I am going to go Tetairoa McMillan here. This is a pick that I've had in my mind for like 2 months now. And maybe this is just like my own personal narrative bias, right? But this was legitimately the first prospect to team match that I made for this entire draft, I thought about it like literally 2 months ago when I was driving back from Georgia to Fargo. I was like, yo, McMillan on the Raiders would be kind of nice. This was even before they got Geno Smith. It just makes too much sense. I love him as a prospect. Again, I don't think he's quite in that tier of like Malik Neighbors or Marv last year, but I do think he is like, this is a lazy comparison, but he is like a Drake London type of prospect, and he's similar enough player. A lot of teams need that big-bodied outside X receiver, right? That's exactly what he is. He's a pretty good route runner. Like I don't like this whole like, well, the separation numbers aren't very good. It's like, dude, it just like that. So much of that is on the quarterback. No disrespect to Arizona's quarterback, but honestly, like if you're McMillan, right? If he wins his route, but then his quarterback is late to seeing him or late to throwing the ball, right? He could be like open as soon as he's breaking on like an in route, but then the quarterback takes like an extra half second to throw it. As soon as he throws it, then like the backside defender comes in, and all of a sudden, like according to the GPS tracking stats, like, oh, well, he wasn't open. Or like if he's running a go down the sideline and he doesn't have a lot of separation, but he has like half a yard, like half a yard is enough for him because he could just go up and get it, right? So I don't love just like looking at that number and be like, well, he can't separate. Because honestly, I think the tape tells another story. I think he's pretty good at getting open. He's got size. He's decent after the catch. He won't like burn your face off, but he's got nice change of direction. He can turn upfield, get some extra yards. And I love the fit on this Raiders team. I love getting Geno Smith, a quarterback who loves to chuck it up, push the ball downfield. I love getting him a big-bodied receiver that can win downfield. I love the Raiders, who have Brock Bowers and Jakobi Meyers, nice pieces, but Bowers, right, in line and slot usually short stuff, a lot of screens, right, getting him the ball after the catch. Jakobi Meyers, usually a slot guy, right? Get me that guy on the outside. This pick just makes way too much sense. I get like Genty's maybe a better prospect. They need a running back too. I don't know. This pick just makes me so happy. I would be fired up if the Raiders went McMillan at 6, honestly. I don't think 6 is too high for him. I think he's a really good player. I am all over this pick right here. I really, really, really want to see this pick happen. So McMillan to the Raiders at 6. First kind of spicy one. And I've even seen this one mocked a decent amount, but a little bit of spice to start things out here. Jets on the clock at 7. We'll get to that in a sec. Let's check up a chat here first. Game Solve saying, only thing is that the Raiders were the worst or second worst rushing team in the NFL last year. And yeah, and that's understandable. And maybe it's easy for me to say, they could get a guy in round 2 though, right? Deep running back class. It is a deep receiver class too. I think the one thing I would argue against that, I'm arguing myself now, right? It is a deep receiver class and it is a deep running back class. There are not a ton of guys like McMillan in this class, though, right? There's not a ton of true outside receivers. Like, if they wanted that in round 2, it might be Jaden Higgins. And I think the gap between McMillan and Higgins is substantial, you know? I just would feel a lot better. And McMillan has some inside versatility, too. He can play in the slot a little bit. But Genty to the Raiders would be a good pick, too, to your credit. I think, realistically, there's a good chance it happens, but... yeah. Genty to the Panthers. Oh, could you imagine? That would be such a sick running game. But yeah, we got Kira Cat in here too. Let's go. Welcome back, Kira. Good to have you in here. What's going on, man? Good to have you in here. We'll get to your Broncos here in a sec. I mean, they're down at 20? I've got a perfect pick for the Broncos, man. This is one that's also been in my head for a minute now. It's like, please let this happen. I want to see it happen so bad. But Sebastian saying, key to being an NFL fan is to not follow draft prospects at all. Is more entertaining because you're just astounded by everything that happens. No, that's understandable, right? And then, because if you do, you get too dug into your preconceived takes a little bit sometimes. Like, no, I swear so-and-so is good because I thought he was good coming out of the draft a few years ago, you know? Versus like, I'm trying to land the plane here. Like, if you like guy who doesn't know who Malik Neighbors is, like, yo, this Malik Neighbors guy is awesome. I don't know. But I get what you're saying. I butchered the bit a little bit there, but Hey, we got Nick in here too. What's going on, man? Good to have you in here. Welcome to the stream, Nick. I'm doing well, man. Dr. Pigskin history right here. First ever Dr. Pigskin stream in Minnesota. Real riveting stuff right here. Again, the internet is working. It's a beautiful thing, man. Look at the smile on my face with no lag. Isn't it beautiful? It is beautiful. Jack saying if the Raiders are going to take a receiver, they should trade back. Yeah, they could. I mean, I don't know. I mean, if they really want McMillan, I mean, this team right here would be a threat to take him, maybe. This team would certainly be a threat to take him. So, this is what I want. Dark Elixir saying running back is a bigger need and Genty's a better player. I get the running back depth, but there are other X's down on the board and Genty is the best overall player. That being said, Genty to my Saints. You know, that's what I've been thinking about. All right, let's get to the Jets at 7. So I had hinted on stream on Sunday, like, oh, I might have a crazy Jahdae Barron take. I've talked myself down from this a little bit. There was a moment where I was seriously considering going Jahdae Barron here at 7, even though they have a pressing need on their offensive line, even though like corner might be seen as a position that's solidified, right? But Jahdae Barron, he is kind of like that tweener guy, nickel safety, very, very Brian Branch-esque. I love the edge that he plays with. Aaron Glenn himself is a former DB, new scheme, man-heavy scheme, right? All this stuff. That being said, I don't think it's going to happen, so I'm not going to do it. But if you wanted like a shocking, jaw-dropping wow pick, this one is at least on my radar. I don't think it's going to happen, and I'm not going to do it. I am going to go Armand Membou here. I think I got his name right. Again, offensive line, just a big need for the Jets here, right? They got a lot of guys on expiring contracts. They kind of just patched it up with some aging free agents last year. They do have Fashanu, right, who they drafted in the first round last year, but they just need a little bit more. Membou and Fashanu can be the tackle duo for the future, right? Whoever the quarterback is going to be. It'll probably be Fields this year, but you want to build that good ecosystem, that good exoskeleton for whoever your quarterback is going to be for the foreseeable future. And if I want to play the whole, well, oh, Aaron Glenn might want his own Brian Branch, like, it's also fair to say on the Lions, he got a firsthand experience of just how important having a good, strong offensive line 1 through 5 is. So this is a bit more of a responsible pick. I was really tempted to go Barron here because honestly, I think that'd just be so much fun. And I want this Aaron Glenn Jets era to just be like a bunch of hard-nosed, like guys that get in your face a little bit, like. And I just think he would fit that so much. Like, I really do think he's an Aaron Glenn type of player. I wonder if Aaron Glenn, this is just speculation, I do wonder, like, if he was going to, like, pound the table for a guy, it would be Jahdae Barron. But I'm not going to do it. They're not going to take a slot corner at 7. Although slot corners are cool now, right? Every team needs one, but I'm not going to do it. Sebastian saying he's a running back merchant. You can never have too many good backs. Might be because I'm a Lions fan. Oh, I mean, backfield depth is huge, right? Talk about the Panthers at 8. I will say, as sick as it would be if they got Genty, I don't think that they'll go that direction, especially since they just signed Rico Dowdle too, right? But could you imagine how nice this running game would be? I mean, the line is set, honestly. Like, this running game as a whole is set. And Lord forgive me, I'm on the Panthers train again, right? Oh, Lord, here we go again. But the line has turned into a really, like, borderline top 10 unit. Hubbard was really good last year. Rico Dowdle's a nice change of pace guy, right? This is a well-coached run game. I really, really like it. I honestly think they're one of the teams that, like if they got Genty, it would be sick, but they don't really need him. Like honestly, I do feel pretty good about the run game as a whole. But I wouldn't oppose it. They got to go defense, right? Defense still is a bit of a concern. Maybe they could go receiver. If McMillan was on the board, I would certainly be on board with that. But they got to go defense. Here's another pick I like. Here's a real spicy one right here. Here's where things start to get a little spicy. And again, I've seen this pick mocked some. We're going to scroll down a little bit. We're going to take a big swing on Jalen Walker for the Panthers here at 8. Man, this is a bit of a boomer bust pick, but if I don't love taking the boomer bust route for my mighty Panthers, I tell you what though, good scheme fit, right? Talking about a 3-4 defense, you need those versatile guys on the edge, a guy that can rush the passer and drop back in coverage a little bit. Jalen Walker played as an edge, and he played off ball a little bit at Georgia. He's a bit of a tweener, and that can be used as a negative. It can be used as a knock. But I love these types of players so much, and I think that NFL coaches have gotten so much better at understanding how to use these guys. I think of Frankie Louvu, easy comparison to make. Louvu was on the Panthers even just like 2 years ago, right? They know firsthand how big of an impact player he can be. I think of Andrew Van Ginkel. I think of even like Clay Matthews back in the day a little bit, right? Teams have gotten pretty good at using these tweener guys, and Jalen Walker, I do maybe like him as an edge a little bit more as like an off-ball guy. Like, he's a little sketchy in coverage at times, right? If you're going to put him at off-ball linebacker, he's one of those guys where I like to say, like, as long as he doesn't take any steps backward, we're good, right? As long as he's blitzing or just like shooting a gap to get a tackle for a loss, we're good. As long as he doesn't have to cover too much, we're good. But he can cover a little bit if you're going to be doing this disguising stuff, right? Where it's like, oh, is he going to rush or drop back? He's a good guy to do that with. It is a risky pick. If you're the Panthers, you're like, dude, we just need someone to get after the quarterback. Maybe you might want a more pure pass rusher like a Mike Green or a Donovan Ezeraku. I don't know. I think Walker's ceiling is a lot higher, and I just love this type of player. And I think he does make sense for this Panthers defense a little bit. Again, welcome back Frankie Louvu. That's the pick right there, pretty much, right? I thought Louvu was like really good last year for the Commanders. Again, like if they're the Panthers, like you see Louvu go out the door, he had like an all-pro caliber season. Again, it's like a weird role he plays where like, yeah, he blitzes and then he plays as an edge a little bit, right? But it works, dude. Shoot, like it works. I think there's enough here to work with that I'm going to go for it. Again, like risky pick. There is a world where this goes wrong and he just never really catches on at one position or the tweener stuff doesn't really work out. And there's a little bit of refining in his game. But man, I just love the way he moves. I love the motor he plays with. Go Dogs. I love me some Jalen Walker at 8 to the Panthers. I could get giving Bryce a weapon here, right? I think if McMillan was here, then yeah, that would be a really, really, really tempting pick to make. But I think you got to go defense here. You could even think about corner. I know you got J.C. Horn, but he's had his injury concerns. You could go DB. Someone was saying that in chat. Where did that go? Sebastian saying Panthers could take Barron. I wouldn't hate that, honestly. Get another hybrid player. Welcome back Jeremy Chin, right? I wouldn't hate that either, honestly. Habs just scored. Oh, and it is the NHL playoffs started yet? But let's go. Let's go Canadiens. Montreal. Hey, let's go Wild. We're playing the Knights again. What could possibly go wrong? Minnesota team in the playoffs. Maybe this year we won't have a first-round exit. Doc, is it a state that has technologically evolved past 1975? What a glow-up. Hey, shout out Minnesota. Great state. Great state, man. I love me some Minnesota. Sometimes I spiritually consider myself a Minnesotan. I do love me some Minnesota. But yeah, shout out Minnesota. Indeed. You get it. Nick really likes Walker. Me too, man. I like both the Georgia guys. I was talking about Michael Williams a little bit at the top of my stream on Sunday. Where's he? He's pretty far down too. I disagree with 38, man. We'll get to Michael in a sec. Oh, poor Jack. Penguins aren't in it. Yeah, it's been a rough stretch for him for a few years now, right? I'm a bit of a hockey casual, but Habs winning, they're in, would be huge for the rebuild. Oh, there we go. Okay, season wrapping up. Okay, there we go. Oh, no, dude, I don't care. I mean, I try to avoid using profanity just because, like, I don't know. My whole thing is like, oh, you never know who's watching, right? I honestly, like, if you want to do it, it's fine. Like, I'm not going to police you guys and be like, well, so. But really, my only rule is just, like, be nice to each other, right? But if you're going to hit a LFG for when the Habs score, go for it, dude. Hey, sometimes you got to let it out, right? I'm not, like, anti-profanity. Like, I'll keep it a buck. Like, I let it out here and there if I'm, like, playing Xbox and stuff. But when I'm on camera, I try and keep it at least somewhat clean. But I'm not offended or anything. All right, pick 9, Saints on the clock. Saints on the clock here. I'm going to be real, man. I don't know what to do with this team. I really don't know what to do. Man. I am tempted to go Genty here. I mean, it makes a lot of sense, right? You do have Kamara, but he's going to be turning 30. And honestly, like the Saints and another team, like honestly, the line is not bad. I kind of like this Saints offensive line. They were super injured last year. But when they were healthy, especially Eric McCoy, shout out Eric McCoy, underrated player. But like that running game was kind of going with them a little bit. Now they have a different offensive coordinator, Kellen Moore, going to be a new system, right? But running back is genuinely a need. And it's not like they have a bunch of depth behind Kamara. I mean, Kendre Miller was kind of notorious for not really catching on at all, right? Only 39 carries in his rookie season. Probably not much there. He's a third-round pick anyways, right? If you're the Saints, you just want to go BPA again. I talked about this on Sunday. I would not go quarterback here. I just don't think taking a quarterback in this spot is wise. I get like Derek Carr might be hurt, whatever. Let Spencer Rattler cook, baby. Let him take the wheel for a year. If he crashes the car, cool. You get the second overall pick. Finally, it's about time, right? Yeah, you know what? I am going to go Genty. And I know the Bears, like Ben Johnson's probably like right now, right? He's like smacking his knee in the war room like, no. But I mean, he's just too good of a player to keep sliding, right? Like at some point, someone's got to take him. Again, I know Kamara's there right now. You can do committee for like 1 year and then just let Genty take over from there. Yeah. I mean, PFF even has Saints like top need as running back again. He's just too good of a player to keep letting slide. If you're Kellen Moore, right, you came over from the Eagles. What was the big key to your success last year on offense? Having a really, really good running back that could like break off a 75-yarder at any point. Now, Genty's maybe not quite as explosive as Saquon, but he's just a really, really complete runner. His contact balance is insane. I mean, he just bounces off tacklers like it's nothing, you know? He's got pretty good evasiveness. He can make people miss in the open field. I love his vision. He's a capable receiver. He's a capable pass protector. I don't quite have him on the tier of like Bijan from a few years ago. Like I think if I had to rank prospects, I would have Bijan just like a little bit higher. I'd have Saquon just like a little bit higher. But he's like the next best thing. He is a pretty special player. I think at worst, he is the third best player in the draft. I would say he's the second best player in the draft. I would only have Travis Hunter over him as far as a pure prospect goes. I know like we had the whole running backs don't matter thing for a while, but we've seen that kind of come around a little bit. He's too good to slide any further. The Saints actually need a running back. They should just go BPA. There you go. Best player available. There you go. All right. Genty to the Saints. And again, Ben Johnson. Oh, he's having a meltdown. Oh, no. Ben Johnson's melting down. Darn it. You know the Bears are sick, though. They would totally take Genty if he was there at 10. And again, it would make sense. You know Ben Johnson does not want DeAndre Swift to see the field for him. Doc survived my generational crash out when the Hawks lost to the Niners on TNF this past year. Man, that was quite the game. Hey, I've been there for that, man. I've had my fair share of Vikings related crash outs before. Don't you worry. Sebastian saying this has to be Genty. Oh yeah, there you go. See, we got some running back love right here. Oh yeah. Nick saying sell the house to get Ward. That would be crazy if the Saints did that. Man, no disrespect to the Saints. They ain't got much of a house to sell right now. Sorry. I know there's a Saints fan in here. Hey, the Saints owned the Vikings forever. There was the miracle, but, 2009 is the one that really mattered. But yeah. Right on cue. Dark Elixir saying our entire roster is in need. Love Kellen Moore, but the future isn't looking too good. It's just a tough spot to be in, right? But I feel like, okay, just take Genty. Okay, we know for the next 5 years, we've got a good running back under our control. Let's take it a year at a time, right? You don't necessarily need to build the good team and then get the running back. You can do it in the other way, the other order, right? The Saints are picking at like 7 again next year. Okay. Do we want a quarterback? Do we want to move up? Or are we just going to go BPA again, right? You just got to Like Genty is a home run as far as like a prospect goes. As far as like progress for the Saints becoming a good team, he might be like a double. But there's nothing wrong with a double, you know? There's nothing wrong with a double. You can't get it all in one go, right? Can't get it all in one go. Garrett saying, Doc, get a PhD so you could call yourself Dr. Pigskin PhD. That would be pretty sick. You know, I actually come from a family of doctors, so I guess surely this is the same thing, right, Dad? Oh, man. Nick also saying Doc needs a PhD. Ben Johnson found crying and eating ice cream from a tub in the shower. Been there. Outside shot for at 9 is Shamar Stewart for the Saints. He's the most New Orleans Saints edge ever, and I absolutely hate it. You know what's funny? I actually thought about Shamar Stewart for a second for the Saints. I flirted with it for a little bit, but yeah, I think he'll fall a little bit further. I don't hate him. I think he's got a higher floor than some people think because he plays the run well. And I know that's like a nerdy thing to say. And all the upside is from like his potential as a pass rusher. But he plays the run all right. He's a first rounder. But there is a world where like he's Jabal Sheard, which is fine. Do you want to take Jabal Sheard at 9th overall, though? I don't know. But shout out Jabal Sheard. Low-key, one of my favorite like nerdy hipster players ever. Jabal Sheard. Anyways, enough about Jabal Sheard. Bears are on the clock. Man. So I've seen some Starks talk in chat, right? Sebastian thinking Malachi Starks to the Bears. Also getting hype for 3-1 for the Habs. There we go. Okay. There is one name I have in mind for the Bears. And it's funny because I've had my takes about this guy. And it's not even that I think he's a bad player. Oh, screw it. I'm going to do it. I was thinking about this. I was thinking about this. We're going to go Tyler Warren to the Bears at 10. This is a big swing right here. And like I said on Sunday, Tyler Warren is a guy where I'm going to feel a lot better about him if he's in an offense with a coach that has a really good idea of how to use him. And I think it's funny. I was saying like, 7 is rich for me, but I'm taking him at 10 instead. I do think this is a big swing. But if there is a coach that I feel good about actually using Tyler Warren well, it is Ben Johnson, right? You look at some of the stuff he's cooked up with Sam Laporta. Yeah, different player, but like just overall, like I guess like Laporta is not a perfect one-to-one comparison, but Ben Johnson to me is a coach that's always done a really good job of maximizing a player's skill set, right? He deserves a lot of credit for turning Amon-Ra St. Brown into the type of player he is now because he had just a better idea on how to use him than anyone else did, right? And so again, you've got this big guy. He's like 6'6". He's pretty good after the catch. He's good on these screens, right? He's a good underneath option. You've got Cole Kmet there already, who's like your classic inline tight end. Warren is the guy that you can move around in motion and draw up all this cool designer stuff for. It is kind of a crowded receiver room right now, but let's be honest, Keenan Allen, he's on the way out. Like he's not going to be there forever, right? DJ Moore, Rome Odunze, Tyler Warren, there you go. That's probably the next best thing, right? I think this is a very Bearsy pick right here. And again, Warren, maybe not a great classic inline blocker. Again, he's got shorter arms and it shows up a lot. But you get him on the move. You get him as a moving blocker, blocking guys in space. That's good for him, right? He's got good size and good speed. He can move pretty well. There's maybe some questions about his ability to get open and run like a classic route tree. I think that's fair. But he's just so big. He's just so strong. He's so good after the catch. He's so versatile. I mean, hey, you want to talk about a guy that loves trick plays and doing all the funky stuff, right? You know Ben Johnson would have some wacky, wildcat stuff drawn up for Tyler Warren, right? I do feel like there's a few teams where it's like, okay, I feel a lot better about this if they go Tyler Warren. Because you're not just expecting a regular tight end. Like you got to have almost like a Taysom Hill role for him. Like I think it was Dark Elixir was saying like Taysom Hill-esque. The Bears is one of those spots. You know, they could go defense. They could get an edge rusher here. I would understand that. I know they're sick that they missed out on Genty. We'll go Tyler Warren to the Bears, though. They need defense bad. I get that. I mean, the defense is all right. I mean, they have Montez Sweat. They've got some good linebackers. Jalen Johnson's a corner one. I get it though. Like if they did want to get like Starks or Barron even or a pass rusher, I'd understand that. This seems like a very Bears pick though. And Ben Johnson's like, ooh, give me another guy I can scheme with. So we'll go Tyler Warren to the Bears. Tyler Warren will be a top 8 pick. Also, welcome to the stream, Ryan Nasty. Good to have you in here. Saw the Go Bucks earlier saying will be a top 8 pick. I could see it right. There is some hype around him. I'm not down on him by any means because I see the appeal, but I just give me a team with a clear plan. I think the Bears is one of those teams. But if you went to the Jets, I'd be like, I don't know. I feel a lot better if he's just like, if he's got reasonable expectations, which I guess 10 is still pretty high, but Tyler Warren. All right. Niners on the clock at 11, and I'm struggling to scroll here. There we go. We got some college football talk in here too. Nick was saying, I want to get into college football. Garrett shouting out TFG. Oh, yeah. No, he does really good work, man. He makes some good content, right? A lot of good draft content, too. College football content. I'm certainly not a college football expert by any means. I watch a little bit here and there. I watch Georgia play some, and I'll watch some of the big games. I don't know. A lot of my college watching is like watching prospects, though, which I get like true actual college fans don't always like that. And I understand that. I'm never going to sit here and be like, Josh Heupel is evil and stupid. Like, no, like it's just not a pro style offense. But Josh Heupel's not trying to like win NFL games or create NFL prospects. He's trying to win at the college level. It's a different sport. So anyways, little tangent there, but Jack saying the thing about college football for me is that 95% of the games are completely pointless and upsets are so unbelievably rare that it's not worth it. I do like the revamped college football playoff format. Man, oh man, oh man, if I have not gotten into so many debates with my friends from Georgia about the revamped college football playoff. Oh man, we've got some gems. I'm talking like peak Stephen A versus Skip Bayless stuff, man. We've had some hilarious debates about that, but I'm with you for the most part, man. I am here for letting more people have a seat at the table. There is certainly a parity problem in college football right now. I'm with you on that. Hey, shout out the FCS. Honest to goodness, if you want to get into college football, maybe this is silly and it's a little bit harder to find games for. I genuinely prefer the FCS to the FBS, right? Which is still Division I, but it's just a tier below. Maybe it's because I grew up cheering for NDSU, right? From the Midwest. A lot of Midwest schools in the FCS. I love the FCS, though, man. I do love me the FCS. All right, here we go. Niners on the clock at 11. Few different routes they could go here. I'm going to go Will Johnson, though. Will Johnson's a player that I do like. He's fallen a little bit, like going into the season. If someone would have told me Will Johnson would be the 11th pick in my mock draft, I've been like, wow, like I feel like going into this season, Will Johnson was seen as like a top 5 guy, and he struggled with injuries a little bit. He kind of had a down year. Wasn't like necessarily bad. He still had some good games. Was not the player that we saw in 2023, however. And there are some concerns about his speed. He didn't run the 40 at the combine or his pro day. Shows up a little bit, maybe gets burnt every now and then. He doesn't have blazing speed. He can get beat downfield a little bit. But man, everything else about him, there's just a lot to like. I do love me some Jahdae Barron, but I think Will Johnson makes a lot more sense for the Niners here. They need an outside guy. They lose Charvarius Ward. Robert Saleh's coming back as DC, right? Man-heavy scheme. Lazy parallel, but like... He's a little Sauce Gardner-esque, a little bit. Just long corner, really good in zone, really good at breaking on the ball, right? Good ball skills. I think he is a really good player. I'm not worried about his speed to the point where I would let him keep sliding. I think he's still like probably a top 10 prospect in this draft. Feels a big need for the 49ers. They're able to replenish their secondary a little bit. Took some hits in free agency. I like this move a lot. They could go offensive line too, which again, lost some guys there like Kelvin Banks. That might make a lot of sense. Trent Williams is getting a little bit older. The line is kind of an issue a little bit. Dominic Pooney was a nice find for them in like the 3rd round last year, but still, they could always use another guy. But You know, Kyle Shanahan's like, well, my scheme's gonna take care of it, for better or worse. But I do like Will Johnson a lot. I think this is a good pick. This would be a pick that would make me happy right here. Will Johnson at 11 to the 49ers. I think like if he fell down to like the teens, I think that would be a big steal, honestly. I think he's a good player, but I've seen a lot of mocks having him fall down to like the teens now. Like, man, if I'm the Cardinals and Will Johnson falls to me at 16, I'm like, yay, let's go. I think that's what Jonathan Gannon would probably do if Will Johnson fell to them at pick 16. But I'm going to have him go at 11 because I get to say what happens. Dark Elixir saying, it wouldn't be surprised if a Marion Hampton went here if Genty is gone. Oh, I like Hampton a lot. 10 is big. I mean, who knows, dude? We could see some shocking picks. I mean, I didn't think Gibbs was going to go as high as he did a few years ago. Shoot, if the Bears really did want a running back, they could go Hampton at 10. Get their wrecking ball, right? Ben Johnson gets his big bruiser. I do really like Omarion Hampton a lot, though. I think he's a great player. Another first-round caliber back. But we'll see. Just do March Madness on steroids. Let every team in the country in for college football. That would be crazy. Could you imagine? It's like, I don't know. What's a small school? Like, I don't know. I butchered the bit again. I don't know. Rutgers has won. Something like that. I guess Rutgers not like a small school, but Dark Elixir likes Barron over Johnson. I get that, honestly. You could really talk me into saying Barron is a better prospect than Johnson. I think they're pretty even, all things considered. I do think overall, though, like the 49ers need an outside guy a lot more. I think I already said that. Maybe Barron to the Cowboys. Oh, that's tempting. That is tempting. They could always use another piece in the secondary. I can't. Jahdae Barron is one of my guys, and he's sliding a little bit. He's going to slide a little bit more, though. Here's a pick I like, and maybe the UGA grad is showing a little love to his Bulldogs. Give me Mykel Williams to the Cowboys. Honestly, before Genty, the pick that I really liked for the Saints was Mykel Williams. I do think he's really, really good. And he's a bit of a different player. He's not super finessey, right? He's a big guy. He wins with power a lot. He's very Jared Verse-esque from last year. And it was fair for me to say last year, I'm a little worried about Jared Verse. He only wins with power, you know. But man, it's a heck of a trick to have, you know. I don't know. There's something about just having a big, burly guy that can bull rush and set the edge and play the run well. That's what Mykel Williams is. And he shows a little bit of bend and a little bit of finesse. Like, if you look at some of his combine testing results, like, okay, there's some quickness to his game too, right? The production isn't, like, eye-popping, but you have to understand the way Georgia plays defense too, right? I love the way Georgia plays defense, honestly. They're a fun watch on tape, right? It's so team-oriented. You don't have guys pinning their ears back just, like, getting after the quarterback, like, oh, like, I'm going to get a sack, even if I'm wrong and I get burned, like, I'm going for the sack, right? Like, it is just so sound. Everyone moves as one, right? And so you don't get like crazy sack production. I mean, Jalen Carter didn't get a lot of sacks at Georgia. Travon Walker didn't get a lot of sacks at Georgia, right? Nolan Smith didn't really get a lot of sacks at Georgia. So for Mykel Williams to get like 6 sacks a season, okay, that's pretty good. They rotate him in and out. He does his job. He's shown enough as a pass rusher, though. His games against Texas, man, looked pretty good, right? Looked pretty good. If you're the Cowboys, you do already have Micah Parsons there, but you lose DeMarcus Lawrence. And you were just so bad against the run last year. Wouldn't it be nice to get an edge that can just play the run really well, right? I think even if he doesn't hit his ceiling as a pass rusher, he's a guy, he comes in, he's a great run defender right away, right? Maybe at pick 12, that's not sexy. But man, you could really use that if you're Dallas. You just could really use that. And again, round out that defensive line. I like this pick a lot. PFF thinks it's a reach. I have him a lot higher on my personal board, to be honest. I'm a big Mykel Williams fan. Again, I like both the Georgia guys up front. Mykel Williams at 12 to the Cowboys. I would be fired up if this happens. There's a good player in there, man. I'm going to pound the table for Mykel Williams a little bit. I know like draft Twitter's a little divided on him, but I'm a big Mykel head myself. He's my cup of tea. I've really grown to just love these big, muscly, like set the edge, win with bull rush type of edge players, right? Like, I don't know, man. Those guys, every team needs one of those guys, especially with how much teams are running the ball now and how good running games have gotten in the NFL. You got to have a guy that can just like throw people aside and just make your life miserable when you try and run to the outside. So Mykel Williams to the Cowboys at 12. But Barron would have been nice too. I mean, you could always use another piece in the secondary, right? You've got injury concerns with Bland and Diggs, so that would make a lot of sense. Wouldn't have to move very far. But give me Mykel Williams. Give me Mykel Williams. That being said, Barron will be the best DB in the draft, saying Dark Elixir. Ooh, okay, I like it. I like it. Well, would you count Travis Hunter as a DB with this take? I'm assuming not, right? This is like a Barron over Will Johnson take. I could get down with that a little bit. I could get down with that. Dark. Oh, he said Ravel. He said Ravel. Oh, well, in this draft, Ravel ain't going to be there in the mid-second round. That's what I'll say. And I might be wrong, but I heard this on a podcast the other day. I think it is Savone Ravel because it's spelt with an H. I'm going to call him Savone Ravel for the rest of the stream because I think he said the H was silent, which I've never really seen before. But I think, I just wanted to get that out there before I said like Savone Ravel. It's like, isn't it Chavone? I think it's Savone. It might be Chavone though. But either way, I'm not in this mock. He's not making it to the mid-second round. That's what I'll say. I like him a lot. He's a guy I've got an eye on for a certain team. But if you did get him in the mid-second round, if you're the Niners, man, good for you. Jameer Goat was always destined to go to the glorious Detroit Lions. What do I think about M'Boue to the Dolphins? Dude, if he was on the clock, or if he was on the board, they would sprint to get that pick in, right? Well, I'll get my Dolphins speech here in a sec. Dark Elixir saying, I like Mykel as a prospect, but for his sake, he should go to Dallas over New Orleans, where raw edge rushers go to die. Yeah, there is like, Marcus Davenport. I know all about Marcus Davenport. All right, Dolphins time. Please, draft an offensive lineman. Please just draft an offensive lineman. Do not take Matthew Golden. Do not take Luther Burden. Oh, Tyreek's getting older. No. Please just draft an offensive lineman. I'm begging you. This is the most neglected child in the NFL, this Miami Dolphins offensive line, right? And Teron Armstead, like their only good lineman, just retired. Please draft an offensive lineman. No more speedy skill players. No more raw edge rushers. Although Chop Robinson did turn out pretty well last year, so I'll give him that. I've had my fun with the Dolphins. Please draft an offensive lineman. Yeah, M'Boue to the Dolphins. That would be a slam dunk for him, right? He's got the athleticism to play out in space. Mike McDaniel would do some pretty nice things for him. He would be a pretty clean replacement for Teron Armstead. Instead, I'm going to have them get the next best thing. We'll go Kelvin Banks Jr. here. Again, maybe a bit of a tweener. You could put him at guard or at tackle, but an athletic guy that's comfortable playing in a zone scheme. That's what the Dolphins do. They run to the perimeter. You gotta address the line here. Teron Armstead is out the door. Here we go. Easy pick right there. Come on, Dolphins. I've given you guys a really hard time for like a year now. But if you go offensive line in the first round of the draft, I will be quiet for a second. Just please. It's now or never, bro. It really is now or never. You have the 13th overall pick. There's a good one out there. Go get it. All right, Colts at 14. Jack saying the Dolphins could use a player like the Vikings corner Jalen Ramsey. Yeah, I think they actually just traded him back to the Dolphins. I think he's back on the Dolphins now. I think the trade got rescinded. It was like a Chris Paul to the Lakers situation where Roger Goodell is like, no, he's too powerful. Oh, man. All right. Colts at 14. Tyler Warren is off the board. I'd said like on Sunday that might be the most mocked pick in the entire draft. The Colts do need a tight end in the sense that their tight end room is not very good. However, I am going to push back against them needing to draft a tight end. You know what? They do not need another pass catcher. I actually really like this Colts receiver room. There's a lot of receivers that I really like on the Colts. I just repeated myself there, but let's find them. I got burned by this team a little bit last year. Michael Pittman, Alec Pierce, Josh Downs, and Adonai Mitchell, who I'm holding out hope for. I swear Mitchell is good, right? Josh Downs, I'm unbelievably high on. Honestly, I think he's the best receiver on this team. Pittman's still pretty good. Pierce is a good fourth option as like a deep threat, right? Yes, the tight end room is not good, but dude, you do not need another guy to try and get the ball to, honestly, right? Like, I don't know. I'm going to push back against this. Oh, Colts are going to draft a tight end and feel great about it, right? Defense or offensive line, man. The pass catchers are good. You do not need another guy to get targets to. You're good there, right? Offensive line is a little tempting with some of the hits that they took in free agency, right? I mean, they lost two unbelievably amazing Super Bowl caliber, unbelievable God tier players, Ryan Kelly and Will Fries. Where did they go again? I don't know, but they're incredible. They're just so good. Whatever team gets them is probably going to win the Super Bowl. But anyways, I mean, you totally could go offensive line here, right? Like Raymond, all right, fine. Raymond and Smith, like the tackles you feel good about, and Nelson. But center and right guard are like huge question marks now, right? You took a big hit on what was a pretty nice position group. Or you could go defense, right? I mean, the secondary's been an issue for a while. I do like some of the moves they made, right? Okay, they bring in Charvarius Ward. They bring in Cam Bynum, right? Okay. Maybe they do go offensive line here. This is a pick, like, it's like, I don't know what I'm going to do here. Another pick I've thought about, honestly. I'm tempted to do it. Jihad Campbell to the Colts. I feel like this is a rare pick right here. I feel like I haven't seen this pick really mocked a lot at all. I like Jihad Campbell a lot. He's one of the rare good linebacker prospects that we've gotten in the past few years, right? You want to talk about a linebacker crisis. I mean, man, like, every year it seems like we're saying like, the linebacker class isn't that good this year. Campbell's pretty legit though. I mean, the tools, he had a great he had a great final year at Alabama. The injury is a little concerning, I will give you that, but man, he has an incredibly high ceiling. I think day one, he can be a great coverage linebacker. He can move side to side really well, play the run pretty well. You can blitz him. Like he could pretty quickly turn into a pretty complete player, in my opinion. There's maybe slight concern over him, like taking on blocks in the run game, but for the most part, he's pretty legit. The injury is a little, I can't remember what exactly it was, but he had an injury that he suffered recently. It's like, okay, that at least is like a little bit of a ding. And the Colts linebackers were not that great last year. I mean, man, I watched a weird amount of Colts games again, right? I mean, they're the team of Dr. Pigskin. I was like, please figure it out. Please turn it around. Zaire Franklin is kind of a dog. But other than that, did they lose AJ Speed too? Screw it. Lou Anarumo, new defensive coordinator in town. Give me Jihad Campbell to the Colts. Rare pull right here, but I like this pick. Again, probably like a top 10 prospect in this draft, right? Fills a need. You got to go defense. Do not get another pass catcher. I know another weapon for AR-15 would be pretty sick. And I am Mr. Richardson, right? You've got the receivers there. Jihad Campbell to the Colts, though. I feel pretty good about this. This was one I actually just thought of today. I like this, though. This one makes me happy. I feel good about this. Sebastian saying, I still believe in Richardson. The QB draws you did with him and Madden were godlike. Let's go. The Madden stream callback. I mean, shoot, it's now or never for him, right? But I swear, bro, he's so close to breaking out. I swear, bro, he just needs to get a little more accurate. I swear, bro, his completion percentage will be above 50 soon. I promise you. Please figure it out soon. You're on my dynasty team. But got to go defense if you're the Colts, right? Hey. Even though they're no longer the team of Dr. Pigskin, this will still be our Colts, and they will still be our team. Jihad Campbell. There we go. All right. Here we go. Yeah, Colts trading back. I could see that too. I could see that being a decent trade back spot. It's time. Rise up, baby. Falcons on the clock. Falcons on the clock. And they need defense. What else is new? For the 10th year in a row, the Falcons need defense. We're going to go Donovan Ezuraku here. Now, it's very obvious they need pass rush, right? I mean, this continuously is one of the worst pass rushes in the NFL. Year after year after year. It is really since Vic Beasley in 2016. They've just not had a guy that has been able to get after the quarterback. And even that was like a one-year thing, right? The curse of John Abraham, you know? He was the last like legit consistent pass rusher. Donovan Ezuraku at 15 might be a little high. I like Ezuraku a lot, though. He's one of the guys that I dove into a little bit later. Man, I don't know. I like his length a lot. I like his explosiveness a lot. Again, and I'll be saying this about a few of these other guys as we get later on in the first round, right? And I even said it about Abdul Carter a little bit. There's maybe a little bit of question like winning with power, playing against the run, right? That's fair to say. Maybe he veers a little bit more towards just like pass rush specialist. But man, he's so stinking good at it. He's such a refined pass rusher. Like I think he can come in day one and be like a good starter, right? Maybe his ceiling is capped just a little bit more. But I don't know. He's pro ready, man. I think if you're a coach, there's not a whole lot you necessarily have to do. And that's exactly what the Falcons need. You could go Mike Green. There's plenty of off-field concerns with him. And honestly, I think there's a few on-field concerns with him a little bit. I straight up like Ezuraku more as a prospect than Mike Green. I think if you're the Falcons, you're probably deciding between those two guys, right? Again, it has to be pass rush. Like, no disrespect, I'm sorry. But really, like, Matthew Judon and Leonard Floyd in 2025, like, no disrespect, but I struggle to take the Falcons seriously if that's what they're going to trot out, right? I don't know. Bump one of those guys down, all of a sudden you get a little bit of a rotation. Ezuraku can get up to speed pretty quickly. I like this pick a lot. Buy Donovan Ezuraku stock right now. Good player. Wildly productive in the ACC. Good package of pass rush moves. I like him. Good player. Good pick. Rise up, baby. Let's go Falcons. Shut out the Falcons. Falcons about to take Shedeur Sanders. Dude. They really took it. Dude, they could have addressed edge last year. That's what I'll say. We'll see. And I guess they're geniuses because Kirk was actually a weekend at Bernie's situation. But low-key, we'll see about Penix. That's what I'll say. We'll see about Penix. There was some good. There was also some bad when he played a little bit. I don't know. That's my Penix take right now. We'll see. And it was like 4 games, so I don't want to like freak out too much. But yeah, but Sebastian saying, by the way, Doc, who did I pick for my 2026 Dark Horse Super Bowl contender? The Jacksonville Jaguars in parentheses. I mean, shoot. Don't twist my arm. Don't tempt me with a good time. Anthony Richardson has Justin Fields syndrome. A little bit, dude. And I'll admit, like, I'm guilty of being like, I swear, bro, he's good. He's going to figure it out. So I get it. We all have one guy we'll go to bat for, right? That's probably mid at best, but you know. What position is ED? I don't think I've ever seen that before. Oh yeah, I suppose because they have so many needs they had to shorten edge. Or no, it's just like that for all teams. Okay, never mind. I thought they actually spelt out edge for most teams, and then like the Falcons had so many needs they had to shorten it. No, it's just edge, but ED. Get it? My eyes are watering all of a sudden. This literally just started out of nowhere. I promise I'm not crying. Like, I'm proud of the Donovan Ezuraku pick. I'm not that emotional. It's like, oh, he'd be so good with Raheem Morris. Look at that. What a great pull right there. Got the quote bar for bar right there. The Penix quote. Look at that. Beautiful work right there. No, impossible. I am so sorry, Henry. Oh, man. All right. Cardinals on the clock at 16. Here we go. Let's end the slide. Jahdae Barron to the Cardinals. I like this one a lot, right? You want to talk about another team, like, I was saying earlier, like Jahdae Barron, he might fit in well with the Aaron Glenn type of vibe that he brings to the defense, right? Man, I like the attitude that this Jonathan Gannon defense plays with, man. I really do. Fire in your gut, right? Who took the bus to work today? They need help in the secondary, right? They do have Budda Baker at safety, so I'm not saying Jahdae Barron would be like a full-time safety. But again, could he be like a tweener, Brian Branch type? You bring him down for blitzes and to play the run, and then you can drop him back. Good player. I don't know. 16 seems like a pretty good bargain for me. I don't know. This one makes a lot of sense. I think if Jalen Walker were to slide, Cardinals would be another good spot for him. The Cardinals, and I say this with the utmost respect, this is a compliment of the highest order. The Cardinals defense is perfect. It's like an island of misfit toys, like all these tweeners, hybrid players, right? You think of like Zaven Collins, even Budda Baker a little bit, Jahdae Barron, you could add to that. I like that. Just from a vibe standpoint, team need, good player. There we go. Ryan Nasty's fine with the Falcons trotting out Judon and Floyd. As a Bucs fan, yeah, I can understand that. Yeah. There's no way. I mean, that'd be malpractice. There's no way. Get a peace out to focus on the Habs. See you in a bit. Hey, there we go. Hey, let's go Habs, I think. I don't even know who they're playing. I'll cheer for the Habs. I know some people are like, oh, they're like the hockey Yankees. That was a terrible Canadian accent, but I tried my best. Get us a big dog for B-Flow. The Falcons took Michael Penix. Why? Big dog for B-Flow will be getting a big dog here in a minute. He'll be getting a big dog, all right. What about Starks at 15? Yeah, I mean, Malachi Starks would have been a decent spot there too. And the Falcons could use help in the secondary. I am having Malachi Starks fall just a little bit here. He'll find a home at some point though. I have a team in mind for him. I like Starks a decent amount. I do think he's a pretty good player. I think some teams might be spooked by, I don't know, he did get beat some deep last year, right? Some teams might get spooked by that a little bit. He isn't like a crazy athlete. I don't think he's like, he's a good player though. I might like him as a little bit more of a box safety with some versatility. You can drop him back some. He's not like Earl Thomas though or anything, but I've got a decent team in mind for Malachi Starks. All right. Bengals 17. Here we go. We're gonna take a big swing here. We're gonna go Mike Green for the Bengals. Now, there are some off the field concerns. Sexual assault allegation while in college. Also, I just learned about this today. Apparently one in high school too. Pretty serious stuff, right? I mean, hey, 3 strikes, you're out. Honestly, it should probably be 1 strike, you're out. I mean, I'm not a legal expert. I don't know what actually happened. There are allegations. There's no actual case. Either way, not something you want to be attached to, right? The reality is he is going to go in the first round. Now that I'm off my soapbox, as a player, there's a lot to like, right? Again, another one of these speed rushers, really explosive, can get after the quarterback, super productive in college. Here's what I'll say. And I think if you're the Bengals, right, Trey Hendrickson might be out the door. Even if you don't lose him this year, right? He's on the last year of his deal. He wants to get paid a lot. You still might trade him for all we know. And you don't have anything else. I mean, we've seen all these stats where it's like Trey Hendrickson is top 10 in the NFL in win rate, and the rest of the Bengals are 90th, something like that. You know what I mean, right? They literally have nothing else. And then Sam Hubbard retires too, as if they needed to take any more hits, right? They have needs all over the defense, but I think the biggest thing is they need another pass rusher. They really do. And Mike Green has the upside of being like a double-digit sack type of guy in the NFL again. You can see the ridiculous bend. You can see his crazy get off on the line of scrimmage. Now, more so than some of these other guys that I've talked about, right? And I am like Mr. like, well, does he play the run well? Like, But especially with Mike Green, I honestly think he might actually be like a liability in the run game. He over pursues so much. He gambles so much. He's a little light. He leaves his feet a lot. He's on his back a lot. Like he gets blocked onto his back a lot. And he just, I don't know, like he makes a lot of bad reads, dude. And sometimes his bad reads still result in good plays, right? Again, he's playing against lower level of competition. A lot of it is him like honestly, there's a lot of instances on his tape where he makes a good play, but he actually over pursued and left a wide open cutback lane, but he was just so fast he was able to get back. But, it's the Mac. He's not going to be able to do that against the Pittsburgh Steelers necessarily. He might be a bit more of a pure pass rush type of guy, but the upside is enough and the need is enough. If you're the Bengals at 17, I feel a little bit better about this. But I think, I don't know, like Mike Green to the Cowboys even? I don't know, right? I think back second half of the first round, I feel a little bit better about Mike Green. And again, you might have to hold your breath a little bit, like, please, let's hope nothing crazy happens, but we'll see. Dark Elixir saying, please don't jinx Barron to Atlanta. I want to root for him in the NFL. Yeah, I suppose we got a few anti-Falcons fans in here. I respect that. A little NFC South action right there. Ryan Astley saying, I'm a Lightning fan. Remember when the Habs got rolled by the Lightning in the Stanley Cup a couple of years ago? Was that the COVID year? I'm trying to remember. I kind of know hockey. Not really, but a little bit. Jack saying, if the board turns out like this, I actually want to see the Hawks take Matthew Golden here. Well, here we go. Hawks on the clock. We're not going to do it. We're not going to do it. Horns up, but not for Texas. Come on, man. This is just too perfect. Gray Zabel to the Seahawks. This is just such a beautiful fit right here. And you know what? He's one of those guys where Will Campbell, okay, maybe try Will Campbell out at tackle. Gray Zabel, I think he could be a 6 center in the NFL with the way he's built, right? Again, he's a little bit shorter and stubbier, but he's so athletic. He's got a nice base, and he can get out on the move, right? Again, how many times have I said Clint Kubiak outside zone scheme, right? But you got to have those guys that can move. This is not a Garrett Bradbury situation where he's like too small and he's going to get bullied, right? Gray Zabel's got a little beef to him a little bit, right? Hey, he's North Dakota made. But he's like a legitimately awesome player. He is one of the best offensive lineman prospects in this class. He's a perfect scheme fit for Seattle. You can plug him right in at center. If you want to try him at guard, you could try him at guard. If you want to, I feel like tackle is pretty set with Lucas and Charles Cross, right? I don't know. I like this pick a lot. I like this pick too much. Yeah, Matthew Golden is still out there. Maybe you could get another weapon, right, where there's been a lot of turnover in the Seahawks receiver room. But, man, you got to go offensive line. You got to go offensive line out. Horns up, baby. I don't know. Hey, Cody Mauch turned out pretty good a few years ago, right? He's turned into a heck of a guard for the Bucs. Yeah, here we go. Here we go. Give me Zabel. Give me Zabel. All right. Bucks on the clock at 19. Jiad Campbell, popular pick for him, right? Gotta be defense here, right? Defense. Honestly, I have a spicy one in mind. I have a spicy pick in mind here. And maybe they keep doing this and they keep getting burned by it, so I'm a little scared to do it. But again, I kind of like this player a little bit. Screw it. We're going to go Shamar Stewart to the Bucks at 19. Oh, he'll probably be rotating between like a pure edge and being like a down lineman, right? Like he won't be a pure nose next, like Vita Vea, right? But he'll be next to him like, I don't know. I have mixed feelings about this pick already, to be honest. Screw it. We're going to do it though, right? Shamar Stewart is like the ultimate like traits and tools over production type of guy. He did not really have crazy stats at Texas A&M. Even like his under the hood stuff like pass rush win rate wasn't all that great, right? You maybe worry about his ability to like be a pure pass rusher. This is such a big swing right here. And yeah, Matthew Golden is out there. And Jason liked saying he wouldn't pass up on a wide receiver. There has been some rumblings about wide receiver potentially, right? See, And I don't want to argue with Jason Licht. But, and I know Mike Evans is getting older and Chris Godwin's getting older. And I really like Jalen McMillan too, though, right? Like, yeah, you could get one more and have a crazy 4 deep group of receivers, but you got to go defense, I think, right? I don't know. It is a big swing. It is, right? It is. The production was not there. And I'm going to say well, at least he plays the run well, right? But I think he's a guy that you could rotate between a down lineman and a pure edge in this kind of hybrid 4-3-3-4 Bucks defense. They do a little bit of everything, right? And they've gotten burned by some of these toolsy edges before, but man, I think you just need a little bit more, right? It is a big swing. I kind of like Shamar Stewart a little bit, though. Again, there is a very strong world where he doesn't turn into a great pass rusher. I get that. His floor is at least a little high. I don't know. Maybe this is stupid, but I'm gonna do Shamar Stewart to the Bucks at 19. I was thinking, what would be a crazy pick for them? They could go receiver though, right? I mean, Golden is still chilling out there. Honestly, I'm a tad low on Matthew Golden. Just a tad. He'll go in the first round. He'll be coming up here pretty soon. I don't know. I'm not like in love with him. I think he's all right. I think he's like, honestly, I think he's like a second round talent, but he'll probably go in the first, like a early second round talent if I had to grade him. But I understand why he'll go in the first. I don't think it would be like an egregious pick if he went at like 18 or 19, but yeah, I don't know. Bucks don't draft off the field issues. Dude, I'm not going to lie. If there's an off the field issue about Shamar Stewart, I actually don't know about it. That's on me. Caught lacking here a little bit. Yeah. Well, we'll see. But that is better than what I had earlier, like a week ago. I thought about having him go at 12 to the Cowboys. Like, I don't know. That's a bit much. Shamar Stewart to the Bucks at 19, though. It's a very random pick, though. Again, we'll see. I would be happy if I got like 7 of these right. I'm going to have this pulled up during the draft, though, and being like, oh, let's see how many I get right. But all right, Broncos on the clock at 20. We're cruising. We're an hour and a half in. We are crushing it. Kiera Katz in chat here saying Broncos take Nolan and then Higgins in the second, Devin Neal or someone in the third or fourth. Oh, I get it. And wouldn't it be nice to beef up that defensive line a little bit more? Unfortunately, I have had this pick in my head for over a month now, and it's going to happen. Omarion Hampton to the Broncos. Absolutely love this pick right here. I love Hampton as a prospect. I think he's a great running back. Again, maybe bit of a downhill guy, bit of a one-cut guy. Maybe isn't like the shiftiest dude ever. And I had said like about a month ago, I'd like to see him go to a team with a good offensive line. I mean, no duh, right? You'd like to see every running back have a good offensive line, but especially someone like him, like once there is just like a little bit of a hole, man, he hits it so violently. And honestly, he did not get a lot of that at UNC. No disrespect, that offensive line was rough. I don't know, man. There are so many times where he'd have like a 3-yard run, but he's getting touched like 2 yards behind the line of scrimmage. He has to drag someone just to get like 3 yards, right? Like he'd have some crazy 3-yard runs in his bag. Like him as a pass protector too. And you know what? I don't know, man. Sean Payton likes to run the football. This is a really good offensive line. I could see him going for like 1,200 yards year one with the Broncos. I think he would be a fantastic pick here. This is a very strong roster overall too, right? The Broncos don't really have any pressing needs. This is a really well built out team. Like, yeah, they could go Nolan here, right? And just have like a crazy defensive line rotation. But like, they don't need to replace any of these guys. Like, shoot, they could run this back and I think it'd be perfectly fine, right? Like the rotation of McLaughlin, Estime, like that's fine. But dude, wouldn't you just like to see him get a lead dog in the backfield? I think this would be a decent spot for Matthew Golden too. If they wanted to go receiver, I wouldn't blame him for it. And I think Golden would slide in nicely with this receiver room. They could use another weapon. I think that weapon's going to be Hampton though. Oh, I really like this pick, man. I think it just makes so much sense. Schematically, really talented player. If this happens, I promise you, I am going to do everything in my power to get him in Dynasty. I will put together a ludicrous trade package to move up and get him in the rookie draft in Dynasty. Whatever. I'm airing my plans out now. Whatever. If anyone from my Dynasty leagues is watching this, yeah, if you get a crazy offer from me, it's to get a Marion Hampton if he goes to the Broncos or another decent team. I like him a lot, man. He'd be RB1 in a lot of classes. Here's where things get interesting. Steelers at 21. Oh, boy. I'm going to have to think about this for a sec. Oh, boy. Dark Elixir saying, if the Bucs are going edge, James Pierce Jr. is greater than Stewart. Stewart will be a monumental bust. I like Stewart more than Pierce. Again, maybe this is just me being like too in love with like power players or whatever. I don't know. I think Pierce has got a lot of concerns too. But I get it. Man, we'll see. Maybe I am getting a little too hyped about the combine. It's like, well, he had a good combine and he's got some good run plays on tape. So, oh, man. Hampton is Javonte, but better and with a non-exploded knee. Oh, what could have been with Javonte? I was so high on him a few years ago. Marion Hampton just sounds like a Broncos player. Starks for the Steelers. I like that, actually. You know what's funny? I had Starks in mind for another team. I actually really like that. They could go Shedeur Sanders here. I'm going to go out and say it. Sanders is not my QB2. I have Jalen Milroe over Shedeur Sanders for QB2. Sanders is maybe a little bit safer, but again, I just think like he's very Jimmy Garoppolo-esque, and at least with Jalen Milroe, I think there's a little bit of a higher ceiling. And if you're the Steelers, like, yeah, you could take a quarterback here, but like, dude, you just did that a few years ago. Like, you just did the whole, oh, we're going to take an all-right quarterback prospect at 21 because the rest of our team is always like, no, like, you just did that. Again, it's such a tough spot to be in, right? And I just think it's so funny how Aaron Rodgers hasn't signed anywhere yet. Like, we're like a week away from the draft, and he still hasn't signed. I mean, he might retire for all we know. I can't remember what pod it was, but I was listening to a podcast. They're like, wouldn't it be so funny if he retired during the draft? And then the Steelers would be like, you know, like, no, I'm not going to go quarterback. You know what? I will go Malachi Starks. I actually like that. You know what? Shout out Jack. We'll end Malachi Starks' run right here. I'm not going to lie. I had him in mind for the Ravens, but I like that fit. Malachi Starks to the Steelers. We'll do that instead. You know what? Mink is there, but he won't be there forever, and they could always use another guy. I like that. See, here's the thing with Jalen Milroe. He has a lot of issues. I'm not saying he's going to turn into a good player. Sanders definitely has a higher floor than Milroe, for sure. No question. But to me, like, if I'm going to be taken to, I don't know, man. Like, we've seen quarterbacks with very similar issues to Jalen Milroe turn into really good players. And he's not going to be like Josh Allen or anything. Of course not, right? But, again, if he goes to a team, like a good situation, could he be like Jalen Hurts? I don't know, man. Maybe. There's a lot of issues with Milroe. He's not nearly the prospect to Lamar Jackson was, right? Like, and again, maybe just like, oh, I like quarterbacks that are fast, that can throw far, and like maybe you can coach them up a little bit. I just think, like, if you are the Steelers and you're going to really take, like, this is it, we're taking a swing on a quarterback, I would rather swing big for Milroe than, like, well, I hope Shedeur Sanders turns into Jared Goff one day. Oh, by the way, he doesn't get rid of the ball, and he takes a lot of sacks, and he'll blame his offensive line, you know? I don't know, man. Maybe I'm valuing ceiling too much. I don't know. Sanders is just all right. I'm not going to be like, oh, he's bad for the game. Like, no, but again, I like Jimmy Garoppolo. I think that's a fair comp for him, but I don't mind Malachi Starks at 21. I like that. Dark Elixir saying Pittsburgh loves their weak QB drafts, but I don't think Sanders fits Pittsburgh as a team to say. That's another thing too, right? I mean, like, could you imagine if Deion Sanders and Mike Tomlin went to war? I mean, that would be funny, but also, like, Mike Tomlin would not stand for that. There's no way. Doc hates consensus QB2s. Yeah, I was down on Jaden Daniels last year. Oopsies. Oopsies. It happens, right? It happens. But I swear Anthony Richardson is going to be good. Yeah, we got Henry in here too. Let's go. Welcome to the stream, Henry. Good to have you in here saying Doc mock time. Let's go. Oh, yeah, you know it. You know it. For your Falcons, we had him taking Donovan Ezaraku. Really, really like Ezaraku. One of my favorite edge players in this draft. Falcons need pass rush. I think he's very refined already. He can come in right away, be a really good pass rusher. Love his diversity and his package of moves. He's a guy I got into late a little bit. I like him over Mike Green. I know Mike Green's been another popular guy for the Falcons, not just because of like the off the field stuff. I think he's a better player than Mike Green. I like Ezaraku a lot to the Falcons. A little bonus right there. No trades, I suppose. Yeah. But I don't know where I was going with that. I guess I said I was going to point out some trade spots. I haven't really done that yet. Okay, here we go. Chargers on the clock at 22. Dart goes to Pittsburgh, maybe. I could see that. Like round 3 for Jackson Dart, Pittsburgh, I could stomach that a little bit, right? I could see that. I would say, if I had to order them, I would say Ward, Milroe, Sanders, Dart, probably. Dart's fine. He's fine. He's like any other Lane Kiffin QB. But no, again, talk about college offense. Again, like I'm not going to sit and be like, Lane Kiffin is evil and he runs a Looney Tunes offense. Like, he's trying to win college games, right? But it doesn't always produce good NFL quarterbacks. But Caden saying, have I seen that Rob Rang has Warren number 3 on his big board? Whew. Oh, I don't know, man. Number 3. Oh, I don't know. So, and I say all that, right? And I've had my whole epic speech of, well, I don't know about Tyler Warren. And actually, I think that Colston Loveland is tight end 1. And yet, Tyler Warren went 10th overall, and Loveland is still on the board. But we are finally going to end the slide. Mercifully. Finally. It just makes too much sense, right? We all knew this was coming. Colston Loveland to the Chargers. Jim Harbaugh gets another Michigan guy. But again, it actually makes sense. If you're the Chargers, you need another pass catcher. Loveland certainly has familiarity and at least a similar enough scheme. It's not a one-to-one parallel, but it's similar enough, right? I really, really, really like Colston Loveland. And again, this is going to sound hilarious. He went at 22 and Warren went at 10. And they're very different players. And I think that like Tyler Warren fits the Bears a lot better than like Loveland would, right? Loveland is a little bit more of my cup of tea. And after you asked that question on Sunday, Jack, I actually went back and watched a little bit more of Loveland and Warren. I think it's a little bit more like there's a little bit of like, well, he's a little bit more of my cup of tea. I think he's just a better player, man. I am big on Colston Loveland. Dude, he's not the same player. He's not going to be the same player. Absolutely not. No way. But he does kind of move like Travis Kelce a little bit. Just the way he runs his routes, just the way he turns up field. Really good hands. Dude, I just love the way he gets open. Again, more traditional inline type of guy. Attach him to the offensive line. Capable blocker. He's not like George Kittle or anything. Good player. And man, the Chargers need pass catchers. Who has it better than us? Nobody. Give me Loveland to the Chargers. I like this a lot, man. I like this pick a lot. Loveland, tight end 1 over Warren, even though my mock might say otherwise. Oh, well. That's how the board shakes out sometimes. But with some breaking news here. TJ Edwards signing a 2-year, $16.6 million fully guaranteed deal with the Chicago Bears. Look at TJ Edwards getting fully guaranteed money. Good for him. Gotta respect it. Good player, honestly. That's not a bad deal. You know, Bears have some nice linebackers. Good deal. And we got Stupidity in here too. Let's go. Welcome back, Stupidity. Good to have you in here. Not liking the Colts taking a linebacker in the first round, saying there's no way. I get like taking a linebacker in the first round isn't always the meta. And yeah, it is a rare pick. Like, this is definitely not one that you see mocked very often. And I like Zaire Franklin a good amount. I don't know, man. don't you think the Colts could just stand to go like best defensive player available a little bit, right? I gave this whole speech of like, yeah, they could go tight end, but I don't know. They don't need another pass catcher. I like the receivers a lot. They could go offensive line. That I would understand. Like, honestly, if they went Gray Zabel, I would understand that. Maybe not a perfect one-to-one scheme fit. They might want a little bit of a bigger guy that's gonna just like if they wanted to trade back and get Tyler Booker, okay, that would be a nice move maybe for the Colts too. But I don't know if they're gonna stick and pick. Yeah, they do develop linebackers well, but don't you just want to see like a high-end talent plopped in there? And a decent comp for him maybe is like Darius, aka Shaq Leonard, right? Pre-injury. I don't know, but I get it. Like, it's not always like there's a lot of different routes they could go. I don't know. I kind of like it. But yeah, that is a fair point. They really do be churning out these starting linebackers in the 4th round. Dark Elixir's going to head to bed. Hey, appreciate you tuning in. I appreciate the love, man. Here's hoping the Saints don't draft Sanders. Also, I think Omar Norman Lott to your Vikings. Ooh, I like that. Good night to you, Dark Elixir. Appreciate you tuning in. Let's go. Henry saying, man, if Burden had just gone pro after his sophomore season, he would have been a consensus top 3 wide receiver. The Mizzou offense hosed him so bad. Oh, yeah, his stock really took a hit, right? And he's another guy, like maybe some character concerns, maybe some effort concerns. If I'm going to get nerdy, maybe some route tree concerns. But there is a lot to like. He still has the ceiling of being like a Pro Bowl level receiver, right? Just the way he moves, his raw athleticism. He still produced pretty well, right? There's a lot of hype around him in Mizzou coming into the year. I don't know. He's fallen down my board a little bit. He's like, I don't have about like wide receiver 6, but the ceiling is certainly still there. I think like I could still see him sneaking into the back end of the 1st round. I don't know. There's some receivers that'll probably go after him that I like a little bit more. But he's dynamite with the ball in his hands. He is. There is no denying that. Breaking news, Keenan Allen signs a 1-year deal with 20. No, that can't be real. Keenan Allen did get a $27 million contract. That makes me question if the TJ Edwards deal was real either, actually. Keenan Allen did not get a $27 million deal. Hold on a second. Jack might have done it again. Let's check TJ Edwards. I just kind of took it as fact. Oh, no, that one's actually real. No, Keenan Allen, he did not get that much money. Did he hit me with real news first to sucker me in? Yeah. It's like the Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie situation all over again. Well played. All right. You got me. You at least got me to verify it, though. Oh, man. Caden saying, I won't hate getting Green here, but there isn't a prospect I love at this pick. So trade back or trading up for a safety or cornerback would be my preferred choice. And then getting Nolan Bryant at 2 and 3. Those are your guys right there, man. Dude, I'll be getting hyped if the Packers get Kobe Bryant. That is your guy. And Jalen Noel. Put me on. Packers at 23 here. We're going to go Emeka Egbuka. I'm a big Emeka Egbuka fan. Let me do some counting here, right? So Travis Hunter, Teteroa McMillan. Yeah, I have him as my wide receiver 3. I like him more than Matthew Golden. I know we talked about Matthew Golden to the Packers a few days ago. I think for me, Packers definitely could stand to get another receiver. And the argument against this pick might be, like the Packers need a true number 1 to bump everyone else down a slot. And that's fair. But that's just not really there, right? Like, unless they like traded way up to get T-Mac, like that's just not going to happen, right? But you know what they really need? Because I do still like some of the young pieces here. But please just get me someone, if you're the Packers, just get someone that's dependable and that I can trust with good hands, that's going to work over the middle of the field and do the dirty work as a good blocker. That is Emeka Egbuka right there. I am a big, big fan of his game. Again, maybe a little bit of a lower ceiling. He's not going to win Offensive Player of the Year by any means. But as I was saying earlier today, right, good comp for him, like maybe Robert Woods, just good, reliable slot receiver, can get open in the short and intermediate areas of the field, and a great blocker, right? I'm gonna use a cliche, but he's a real football player. He is. And I just think if you're the Packers, like, man, I love Dontavion Wicks, but you just can't trust him to catch the football, right? You know, I like Romeo Doubs enough. You just, if it's third down, can you really just trust him and just automatically throw his way, right? Man, I like Christian Watson as an explosive play threat. But again, if it's like third down and 4, can you just trust him? Please just get me one trustworthy guy that I know is going to come through on 3rd and 4. That's Emeka Egbuka. Really good player. Ohio State churns out these wide receivers, right? He really first popped on my radar back in 2023. I was watching the Notre Dame Ohio State game, right, where Ryan Day's like, "Oh, where's Lou Holtz? I'm going to beat up an old man." But, you know, I was like, oh, let's go. I can't wait to watch Marv, right? Honestly, Marv was kind of quiet in that game. Egbuka had a heck of a game, though. And I was like, oh, like, I'd heard about him a little bit before, right? It's like, oh, another Ohio State receiver's coming up. And I was like, dude, he can play. He's nice. I like him. I like him a lot. Here's what I'll say, because I know Egbuka over Golden might be a slightly spicy take. I have way more faith in Egbuka being a good pro than Golden. Golden, there's just a little bit, it's like, we'll see. He's not going to slide much further. But I like this pick a lot. If I'm the Packers and Egbuka's there, I'm sprinting the card in, man. I think this would be a great fit. And you know Matt LaFleur would love another little blocker. He's just a little run scheming demon, right? Matt LaFleur just can't wait to jump up and down when he draws up another good run play. He likes to emote on the sidelines, that's for sure. But Habs win, let's go. Bang, there we go. Sebastian saying, all right, who's going to be the biggest bust in this draft, in my opinion? That's who the Vikings should draft. I mean, honestly, I could see Matthew Golden being a bust. I don't know. At least relative to expectations. I could see the appeal with him a little bit. I think his stock has gotten propped up a little bit too much by the 40 time, especially because I don't know. He does not play like a guy that ran a 4.29. It's not like he's slow. Like, he is, like, fast enough. But if I didn't know his 40 time, if I had to guess his 40 time, I'd be like, oh, he ran a 4.41. He does not play like a 4.29 guy. And there's production concerns, and he was never really the number 1 at Texas, and he only had a few good games, and, you know, I don't know. But anyways, I like Egbuka a lot more than Golden, and I could see a world where Golden's kind of a disappointment. And you know what? I think it's fair to say maybe Shamar Stewart is a bust, too. He's got big bust potential, but maybe he goes 19, but yo, let's go. Welcome to the stream, Aerozef. Good to have you back in here. I appreciate the super chat too, man. I appreciate that. I gotta heart that right there. Let's go. Saying with the 25th selection in the NFL draft. Oh my gosh. Oh, that's awesome. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. They're almost on the clock. The Minnesota Vikings are now on the clock. And you know what? I'm going to do it. I had hinted at this earlier. We're going to scroll down a little bit for this guy. I said he wasn't going to make it to the middle of the second round. The Minnesota Vikings get Savone Ravel. This is one of my guys right here. Again, maybe a little late to the game with him. Man, you know what? The Vikings certainly could use another corner. They certainly could. They could use another outside corner, right? Let me pull him up here real quick. Again, I think the H is silent. But I like him. Nice. Not a sleeper, because like he is probably like between the first and second round, right? He had a little bit of injury history, right? But man, I don't know. Good player. And the big thing, if we're for the Vikings, I know, scrolling down for the picks, getting a little crazy with it. But hey, we see crazy stuff happen every year, right? If I'm the Vikings, I would just like another body in the corner room. There's a lot of different routes that we could go here, right? But particularly if you're the Vikings, you got to get a little bit more size, right? I like some of the moves that we've made, right? Okay, Byron Murphy, good player. Okay, Isaiah Rodgers, for what he is, fine. He'll fill in for a little bit, right? I mean, we got Najee Thompson out here right now. And we'll have Mekhi Blackman coming back from injury too, right? But if I had to describe the Vikings corner room, it's 5'3" and an attitude, right? We need a Gen Z boss and a mini in the corner room. Sorry, I had to. I couldn't resist. We need a long corner. We need a big physical corner. Give me someone I can trust in man a little bit more. I don't know. I'm a big Savone Ravel guy. Maybe a bit of a reach here. Get me a nice big long corner. Upside is tantalizing. Weave. Oh yeah. You know I'm a part of the team. I'm in charge, but there's a couple different routes the Vikings could go here, right? I certainly wouldn't hate Kenneth Grant. You want to talk about just a big space-eating defensive lineman. Could never complain about that. Even if they wanted to go run, I don't know about running back. I mean, Aaron Jones is getting a little bit older, but we also brought in Jordan Mason, move that I really like. So give me Savone Ravel. Again, big swing, hipster pick. Gotta give a little hipster pick for the Vikings, though. I don't know. I do like how the Vikings have set themselves up. Like, there's no emergency that we need to address in the draft, right? Like, we can just kind of do whatever the heck we want. But, all right. Texans on the clock. We'll go Matthew Golden. Again, they could use another receiver. Diggs is out the door. Golden is a guy I've compared to Diggs a lot. You've got Nico Collins on the outside. Golden, you can balance kind of between the Z and the slot. And even Collins can move in and out those spots too. But, you know, the big strength of this team is supposed to be a receiver room with Collins, Diggs, and then Tank Dell. Diggs is gone. Tank Dell, just injury after injury, just terrible all around, right? You feel bad for the guy. Oh, you could go offensive line though too. I mean, you certainly could go offensive line. There's still a few good linemen out there, right? Like Josh Simmons maybe, and they did trade away Laramie Tunsil. Josh Connerly's another guy I really like. Man, I don't know. But I think overall, like, I don't know. They do like their big school guys too. I think it would probably be between Simmons or Golden if you're the Texans here at 25. And I know, sorry, because I just called him a potential bust, but what a hipster I know. Sebastian said, I think the Vikings should pull a classic Vikings draft move. Forget to submit a player in time and make themselves pick several picks late for no reason. Hey, you know what's epic, though? We still got the guy we wanted. We still got Kevin Williams. But yeah, that did happen. But we'll end Golden's slide here. I think 25 is a more healthy spot for him. Again, like Cowboys at 12? I don't know. Arrow doesn't know about Golden. I get it. I know. And I just talked him down. But we'll see. We'll cop out right there. All right. Rams at 26. This is where things start to get a little funky. It's like, I don't know. I might go Josh Simmons here for the Rams. They did really revamp their offensive line a few years ago, right? But it's been injured and old a little bit. Do they really need a tackle, though? You could kick Simmons inside to guard, but even they feel good about their guards. Maybe I won't go offensive line. Certainly don't need receiver. They'll probably go defense, right, if you're the Rams? I mean, I'd said earlier, like a few weeks ago, they could use another corner. We're starting to get into some of the guys I haven't watched as much either, so I don't have quite as much of a take. And we'll go Trey Amos for the Rams. They could use a corner. They certainly could use a corner. Oh, dang it. Style City plays. Look at that. This man knows ball right here. One of my favorite pieces of sports media ever. Specifically, I mean, that documentary as a whole, but specifically the episode, Aw, Dang It, of the Dorktown Vikings documentary. Oh, man. That was a good one. Yeah, that was a good one. Have I seen the mattress video? I don't know that I have. I'm not familiar with any mattress video. Oh, boy. Benjamin Morrison, he's a guy that I really like, especially like 2023. I was just talking about that 2023 Notre Dame-Ohio State game, right? Benjamin Morrison was putting in work on Marv. Hip injury is kind of scary as for a corner, though. That is a little scary. No hip injury? Yeah, I would say for sure, like Benjamin Morrison here would be a great pick. I might bump him down to round 2. I mean, that's a sketchy thing to overcome, just a little bit, but I wouldn't hate that. Rams select a kicker just for funsies. Nah, they got Playboy Cardi already. Playboy Joshua Cardi at kicker. We're good over here at Rams FC. All right. Is this a Penn State situation? Oh boy. That could mean a lot of different things. All right. Ravens at 27. Man, they could always use another pass rusher. I might actually go James Pierce Jr. here. The Ravens love taking their big swings on edges, don't they? I'll go James Pierce Jr. to the Ravens. That'd be a decent spot for him, right? That's a good coaching staff. If there's anyone that's going to get him right, I feel like that's a decent spot. All right, Lions at 28. This is actually a pick I feel pretty good about. Again, we're going to scroll down again. We'll go Tyler Booker for the Lions here. Again, lost another guard in free agency. They have been, they've lost a few of these guys now the past few years on the interior offensive line. We know the Lions love just beefing up as much as they can on the line. Again, Tyler Booker, maybe not a great athlete. He's not the most athletic guard, but he's going to get downhill on you, man. He's going to push you back. Can't you just see him driving someone back as David Montgomery just buries his head into the sand for 5 yards? I like this fit a lot. He seems like a lion. This makes a lot of sense. This is one of those late first-round picks I actually feel pretty good about. Henry asking, has JT Tuamalu gone off the board yet? He thinks he could be a huge impact edge, super toolsy guy. He is not. We might have to scroll. Maybe not too much. Where is JT at? PFF's board is... Oh, there he is. Wow. 56. He could be on some team's radar like near the end of the first here. Like I don't know, if you're the Eagles, you always like taking a swing on some guy, right? Although I have a name in mind for the Eagles, but I could see that. Even like the Commanders, right? What am I going to do with the Commanders here? There's still a few big names out there. Man, you could go running back. They have a few, but they're all a little bit older. I'm tempted to do TreVeyon Henderson here. I do think Henderson will go in the first round. I think we'll see 3 backs in the first round. Screw it. We'll go TreVeyon Henderson. I like TreVeyon a decent amount too. I think he's a first-round talent, super explosive. You maybe worry about him running between the tackles just a little bit, but man, if you want explosives, if you want a good receiver, and again, to get a little nerdy, good pass protector. Probably the best pass protecting back in this class. There's a lot that he can do to get on the field quickly. He can be like new Austin Eckler, I guess, if that makes sense. Yeah. Oh, that'd be a nice running game. And you got Brian Robinson, who's already the downhill guy a little bit. I actually kind of like this. TreVeyon Henderson to the Commanders. I'm in on this. All right, this will work. You could go defense too, obviously. They could use a corner maybe. We'll go a little flashy. We'll get a third first round running back in here though. We'll show the running back some love. Sebastian saying with the 26th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Los Angeles Rams select Mike Nugent. Yo, he's back. Let's go. Mike Nugent is back. Second JPJ for a second team that starts with an R as many years. Noticing. Sebastian would love to see some Tyler Booker pancakes on a weekly basis. Well, hey, maybe it'll happen. All right, we've got a few picks left here. Bills at 30. They could go edge. They could go interior. We'll give them Kenneth Grant. You know, I was actually talking with James, big Bills fan, earlier today. He was saying he likes Kenneth Grant. There we go. Kenneth Grant to the Bills. Little gift to you right here, James. There you go. A little birthday present. Kenneth Grant to the Bills in the Doc Mock. It makes total sense, though, right? The Bills could always use a little bit more size up front. You've got Ed Oliver, who's a nice gap shooter, pass rush type of defensive tackle. Get the big, burly dude. You know, the GOAT, Poona Ford, is no longer there, so I like that. All right, 2 picks left. Chiefs at 31. I actually flirted with TreVeyon Henderson for a little bit for the Chiefs. But they got to go line, right? We'll go Josh Simmons for the Chiefs. Man, that'd actually be crazy if they pulled that off. If Josh Simmons fell to the Chiefs, they'd be feeling pretty good about that. And then at 32, this is the most Eagles pick ever. Oh, a great SEC defender falls to him again. Howie did it again. Walter Nolan. It makes sense, though, right? They lose Milton Williams in free agency. There you go. Get another, like, the very boom or bust player, right? You want to talk about a gap shooter, like a defensive tackle that maybe over pursues and gets set up in the, like, can get exposed in the run game a little bit, but man, he can rush the passer. You selected Saddam Hussein. um, but Walter Nolan, he's very similar to another defensive tackle prospect out of Ole Miss a few years ago, Robert Nkemdiche. Crazy ceiling, but maybe some concerns about effort, maybe some concerns about consistency. But man, if he can figure it out, there is a world where Walter Nolan could be the best defensive tackle in this class, even better than Mason Graham. Now, it's a bit of a smaller world, crazy high ceiling, but a very low floor. Sounds like an Eagle to me. Sounds like an Eagle to me. Well, there you go. There's the Doc Mock. I'll keep this open. I'm going to switch back to webcam here. I'll keep this open though, because I want to save a picture of this. Again, we're gonna keep track of how many of these actually happen. I'm not necessarily trying to get a perfect bracket here or anything. Most of this is just picks that make me happy with a dash of realism, right? Trying to figure out things. And I was like, I hope that every fan base is happy. You can't go 32 for 32, unfortunately. So. Well, what can you do? What can you do? We tried our best, but I feel pretty good about this mock. I don't know. I'm pretty fired up for this draft. It is hard to believe that it is like about a week away now, right? I mean, it's next Thursday, right? It's been coming for a while. Again, maybe not quite as much flash in this class, but a lot of good starters, a lot of good players still to be had in this class. I've been diving into it more and more over these past few weeks. I'm going to be locked in for this next week now. It is my football life, my football work is prepping for the draft and working on getting this video out about coaches, right? So a lot of exciting stuff coming up in the Dr. Pigskin cinematic universe. It is 9:05. I think I'm going to sign off here soon. I had hinted at Wii Baseball. We'll do that another night. We'll save that for when there's nothing going on. We had a solid 2-hour stream here today. Shout out to the Lake Internet, man. Again, you might see a little bit of a different setup. There's a hilarious backdrop you might see right behind me. When I got started, the sun was shining directly through the window. And I mean, it wasn't that big of a deal, but it was very backlit. But so I improvised a little bit, covered up the windows. But shout out the Lake Internet. No lag the entire time, man. Yeah, we'll see if we can fix it on the home front in Fargo, but at least for now, Dr. Pigskin has a home here in Minnesota. But I appreciate you guys tuning in. Appreciate it, y'all. Hey, thanks for tuning in. Y'all are awesome today. This was a great stream. Y'all have a good night as well. I will see you next week for the draft. Caden asking if there'll be 2 streams next week or just a draft. Probably just a draft. I'll go live on Thursday for the draft, but so no stream Wednesday next week, but Thursday will be fun. But appreciate it. You guys have a good night. I will catch y'all on draft day. Let's go.